Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series every Monday night, brought to you by FEGPC.net. I'm your host, James East, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action to 1080p, 60 frames a second, as we are currently in qualifying for the first of two main events here tonight, a double header here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. We will be racing at Iowa, the cornfield. And then later on in the evening, we will be heading to Michigan to cap off the night strong. Thank you, as always, to our fans, friends, and fans, as well as family tuned in from across the world. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Right now, we got the broadcast rocking and rolling on Twitch as well as YouTube. And tonight's broadcast will be immediately available on the Team Goon Squad Roku channel. One of the first STEM broadcasting companies to hop over to the silver screen. Be sure to check it out and support those that are supporting the sport. Paco Jr. rolling out on track in the 03 machine. Well, let's see what he can do as Fulton currently sitting on top of pole, the friendly Canadian. And let's see what McCullough can do. Is he going to come out and put down a strong qualifying time? Or is he maybe going to play it safe, start from the back? We've definitely seen him do that before. Starting to get fired up. Looks like about 15 drivers have put down time so far. Chris Luttrell in the 00 Chevy, he's going to roll out as McCullough brings it in after qualifying third. Like Chad Ross, the 38 Special Machine, getting ready to go out for qualifying as well, but only 30 seconds left in the session. I'm not sure if he's going to get a time down as Corey Stahl still out on track, burning hot laps in the 66. Maybe not necessarily hot laps as he takes an aggressive entry to pit road. And he will take a toe back. Chris Luttrell's out there rolling. Again, I don't think he's going to get time down. 15 seconds left. I think he is misqualifying as that 00 looks to be bucking around a little bit. Looks like that's just going to about do it here in qualifying. I could be corrected. It looks like it's a little bit longer qualifying session. I'm not seeing the checkered come out as we normally have in the past. And I believe, if I'm looking at this right, only a one-lap qualifying session. Not sure if that was on purpose or not, but we are going to go 135 laps for this main event. 65% fuel alignment for these drivers, as everybody except Peyton Aldridge, Mark McFadden, Ryan Strunk, and Larry McDonald have all put down time so far. I'm wondering if something's a little incorrect there. Because if I'm looking at it right, we've got one. I'm looking at the session settings right now. It shows one qualifying lap and an hour and 20 to make it happen. I feel like that's an oversight, as yes, the white flag is thrown on the session. And we're going to get ready to fire things off for tonight's main event, the first main event. Look who Here we have still on pole Derrick Fulton, the friendly Canadian in the 07 Toyota. Going to be starting in the hot seat as drivers make their way out onto the track, or at least the hot pit. And let's go ahead and run through tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Derrick Fulton, the 07 machine. Jeremy Paris starting second. Kenneth Paco Jr. will be starting third. Stephen Page starts fourth. Jeff Radke starting fifth. Eddie Hawk starting sixth. Corey Stahl starting seventh. Zach Talley starting eighth. James Kaufman starting ninth. Chad Ross starts 10th. Eric Park starting 11th. William Price will be starting 12th. Cycling it on back to Wally Babb, the Georgia native. He's going to be starting 13th. Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, starts 14th. Chris Luttrell starting 15th. John Mullahan starts 16th. Ryan Strunk starts 17th. Mark McFadden starts 18th. Larry McDonald will be starting 19th. And Peyton Aldridge will round out the 20-truck grid here. We get ready to roll up behind our iRacing safety car. Still waiting on Chad Ross, Chris Luttrell to make their way out onto the grid. And we're going to get things going. $135 laps to start the evening off here at Iowa. Live on Twitch, YouTube, and then immediately after the broadcast, you'll be able to view this in its entirety on your TV on the Team Goon Squad Roku channel. But I'm excited to see what Derrick Fulton and Jeremy Paris are going to do on the front row. You got a lot of heavy hitters up there. Kevin McCullough Jr., Stephen Page, your second row. Jeff Radke, Eddie Hawks, your third row. Corey Stahl starting seventh in the fourth row. Got his eyes set on the prize this evening. Pace car will be in this time by. Rolling through turns 3 and 4 here at Iowa. Both getting ready to launch that 07 Toyota. The Chevrolet, the number 24 of Paris, accompanying him. Pace car is in. And we are green flag racing the first event of the night, and we see things going poorly down towards the back. Looks like Kaufman may have had a terrible launch there, as well as Parks, as they fall back a few spots early on. The field's going to try and work itself out. Everybody fighting for those early spots. Fulton holding on the race lead. Jeremy Paris in hot pursuit. Here comes Kenneth Paco Jr., the 03 machine up the inside line. Right behind him, that's Stephen Page on the outside. Jeffrey Radke, the 51, he's on the inside line. Paris sticking to the high groove here. McCullough in third, staying down low. Stephen Page making a little bit of ground up on the high side. Drivers trying to grab those early spots while the tires are still in optimal conditions underneath them. And Fulton with the tiniest bit of a breakaway, 3/10 of the rest of the field. They'll want to try and keep as many trucks behind him as he possibly can as Page hits it 3 wide. Has the door shut off by Paris and McCullough running second and third as they trade back and forth. Now McCullough loses a little bit of time on that inside line. Looks like Paris carries As now the field catching back up to race leader Derrick Fulton. Further back, Ryan Strunk has the fastest lap of the race at 23.96. Using that draft to his full advantage. And look how busy things are here in the top 6. 2 wide and 3 rows deep here at Iowa. Inside line getting a little bit more momentum. Paris and McCullough still battling back and forth for second side by side. Paige Radke right behind them. As it looks like for the first time tonight, we're going to bring it down single file for at least the top 3. I think that's Jeffrey Radke in the 51 machine staying on the inside line. Yes, it is. He's side by side with Paige, who throws it in very deep there against McCullough. Trying to get that 51 Toyota rotate just a little bit and make it happen. And he's got Eddie Hawks in the number 45 Chevy briefly behind him, but it looks like Radke makes the pass on Paige. Right now for the top 6, Radke's the only driver to actually gain a position in the opening 6 laps. A little bit further back, more side-by-side action. There's Stahl, Parks, and Strunk battling 8th, 9th, and 10th. Parks and Stahl going side-by-side. Ball on the inside line in the orange and red, number 66. Parks in the red, white, and blue 73 machine takes over the spot. He's going to move up into 8th. Now, I'm not sure where Ryan Strunk in the 77 machine came from, but he is up 7 spots early on into this run. As he tries an outside move against Stahl in the 66 machine. Looks like there's maybe a little bit of wall touching going on there. That's Strunk way off the racing line. Surely he didn't burn up too many tires. Just 9 laps in as the battle for second heats up McCullough and Paris. McCullough making it happen on the outside line, working his way around the number 24. Paris tries to tuck in behind McCullough because he knows Radke in that 51 trying to make something happen as well. Radke picking up the draft off the back of that 03 machine of McCullough. We got David Sullivan joining us on the YouTube side of things. He's cheering on Stahl in the 66. And great racing all across the track here as we watch Radke pick up his second position ahead of Jeremy Paris. Now, I don't want to hit with the old commentator's curse, but these guys have been running really good here. We've also got the Scrubby Scrub joining us on the Twitch side of today's broadcast as well, watching some go fast, turn left action. Taking a peek to the inside line of Radke's 51, nowhere to go. Eddie Hawks in the 45, still just kind of trailing along, happy to be a part of this and watch it unfold. We go back to the battle for 10th. That's William Price with the wrong number on the side of the truck. He's battling with Zach Talley's number 30 machine. Talley on the inside line, Stahl. Henson making it 3 wide. Wisely backs out of it. Still driver side by side, a little bit of body work being straightened up, but for the most part been nice and clean here. And I think drivers know as the run progresses it's going to be much tougher to make those tires start to fall off. McCullough still dedicated himself to try and take over the second place position. Him and Radke still side by side across the start finish line. McCullough will have, no, he will not have the line into turn 1. As Radke makes it 3 spots gained in the 51 Toyota, and Toyota currently running first and second with Fulton and Radke. He's cheering on Bab Stahl and Radke on the YouTube side of things here tonight. try and pressure Fulton for the lead here. The Distance Motorsports back 51 machine. Everything he can in the opening main event. Again, it's a double header here tonight. Currently, we're at Iowa, and magically we'll be at Michigan about 20 minutes after this first race. Further back, that's Eddie Hawks, Ryan Strunk. Strunk still on a dominant charge, up 12 spots. You can see Chad Ross in the 38 tucking in behind him. But if we continue green, I do worry that Strunk may be prematurely burning up those tires a little bit. Strunk has about a 7/10 disadvantage over Jeremy Paris, number 24 machine. Paris still fourth out on track. Another good battle we have going on. There's Corey Stahl in the 66 machine, just ahead of James Kaufman. Kaufman has Mullahan and Dargert tucked in behind him. Mullahan, the predominantly green number 6 machine. Dargert in the 57 watching as well. And let's pan back to our race leader, Derrick Fulton, who's built up a 6/10 advantage over Jeffrey Radke. And then Kenneth Paco Jr. has his hands full in third place, as it looks like Jeremy Paris, number 24, starting to fire back here. McCullough's going to try and hold on to it, making Paris go the long way around. And this is where tire fall off going to start becoming a factor. Already drivers about a half second off their fastest pace, but look at that. McCullough with a little bit of a bobble, allowing Jeremy Paris to take over that podium spot, and now McCullough's got his hands full. Here comes Ryan Strunk, here comes Chad Ross. Strunk already up 12 spots, definitely our hard chargers so far of the evening. It looks like McCullough may have burned up a little bit too much tires in that 03 Chevrolet. Stephen Page and Zach Talley have been going back and forth in the battle for 10th. And these segment championships, every point matters here. We're going to go back up front as I think McCullough and Strunk still going at Strunk running the outside line. And then number 77, McCullough has dropped back down low as Chad Ross looking for a way through here. 5 laps in, and we've seen a lot of swapping around here. Everybody's searching the track for the best line they can possibly find. McCullough not having the night he was looking for, falling back to 6th place. I'm very interested to see how much more Strunk has left in the tank, literally and figuratively, as he's been ripping it wide open. And something has happened towards the back. We see Wally Babb falling off the pace of the 99 machine, trading back and forth with Dargert. What will be the battle for 15th and a little bit further ahead? A very busy racetrack. We're focusing on Eddie Hawks in the 45 machine. Right behind him, William Price, Zach Talley, Stephen Page. Corey Stahl about a half second back from this pack as well. If we're going to see any big incidents, any big crashes, I would say it's going to be the mid-pack shenanigans that's going to force the issue. Here we go. Derrick Fulton making moves up towards the front. He is around Hawks. Hawks still has company from Price and Talley right behind him. Action here at Iowa. Hinting very, very close to it. And there's John Mullihan, Corey Stahl battling for 12th. Mullihan is up 3 spots, Stahl down 5. And the number 66, and not a lot of places to go in front of him. He's kind of watching Zach Talley, Price, and Hawks still side by side. Eric Parks in the front of this miniature train. From 7th place back is your race leader, Derrick Fulton. Starting to check out here, 1 second ahead of the rest of the pack. And look at this. Hawks holding on to it, but Parks and Price right behind them side by side. Number 30 machine of Zach Talley running 10th. He's looking for any way he can through the battle ahead of him. But as the tires start to fall off and you have drivers going too wide in front of you, it's really difficult, if not impossible, to make moves here. Stahl and Page still side by side. The battle for 11th, just outside the top 10. John Mullihan, number 6 machine. Just kind of watching to see what's going to happen here. With how close and bunched up these drivers are, any little mistake is enough to send you spin around. And with snow gaps in between, if something goes wrong, it's going to go wrong really quickly. Jeremy Paris taking back over the 2nd place spot, possibly just briefly. Trying to squeeze through Jeffrey Radke. Looks like Paris is going to take over the 2nd place position once more. Oh, and we've got a caution coming out. Dargert finds himself plowed in the outside wall. He's going to have to take a tow here. And let's see what happened to that number 57 machine. As he is improperly stuck there. Is there a little bit of impact? Does he get some help? Be a solo incident for the 7. Front end's a little bit beat up there. Oh, I can't tell if Dargert came down. I think that may be the 34. That's the joy of drivers not having the right number. I've got no idea who that was. Oh, that was Larry McDonald. No, I stand corrected. McDonald's run the right paint scheme. I just can't see very well. See if we can watch that one once more to see exactly what happened with the collision between McDonald and Dargert. On board our FEG PC chopper cam. Dargert on the right side of the track. Larry McDonald down low. Driver's just trying to occupy the same space there, and unfortunately for Dargert, hitting the safety barrier just right, hanging up the rear bumper. And he's going to take a tow down pit road. That's going to bring our first caution of the night. And we're going to see if things swap up a little bit. Chad Ross only took 2 tires from that stop. I think Fulton may have as well, a 13-second pit stop. see what's going to happen here. Mark McFadden still in pit road, coming in for a late stop. Dargert in his pit stall for 3 minutes so far, trying to get repairs done. Now, as is pointed out, or trying to point out on the Twitch side of things, I was taking a second to look at previous results. I wanted to say those two drivers have had some sort of history before in the past, but I'm going to get confirmation on that as quickly as I can. Nascar will be making one more lap around the track here at Iowa. Nascar should be coming in this time by. And we will try this again. Nascar is in, green flag is out, away we go. Let's see what Ross can do on those older tires. I think he gets a terrible launch in favor of Derrick Fulton, and Jeremy Parrish got a great start. Here comes Ryan Strunk with the 77 machine. He's on a 4-tire strategy, I believe, so keep an eye out. He's gained 13 positions so far tonight. I think we're about to see some lap 1 heroes here, especially with everybody on different tiring strategies as Jeffrey Radke struggles to hold on to it. We're 4 wide behind him. Eddie Hawks coming through that one clean. He's side by side with Aaron Parks. Well, it looks like Zach Talley's going to follow suit, number 30 machine. We talked about lap 1 heroes, and they are here to deliver us. Up front, it is a 3-truck battle for third. Chad Ross, Ryan Strunk, Jeffrey Radke all in the mix. Radke looking to the inside line of Strunk. And Ross just cooks off the fastest lap of the race at 21.69 on 2 tires. Ross is up 7 spots, starting the top spot for this restart. Getting a whole lot of positions on pit road. Or are we going to go 3 wide? Radke has to back out of it to avoid getting the Strunk's 77 machine. Number 51 driving like a man possessed. He's taking a peek up the inside line of Ross, not able to make it happen. Fulton, your race leader, once again stretching his legs out front. Now this is some good racing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we wanted to see. But still, they continue duking it out for that final podium spot. We're only 45 laps in. And Radke trying to make it happen to 51. We think he's on a 4-tire strategy. We know Ross is on 2. We think Derrick Fulton, your race leader, also on a 2-tire stop. Derrick Fulton, Jeremy Parrish running first and second exactly as they qualified. Radke's up 2 positions. As Ryan Strunk from the inside line against Chad Ross. If he can hold on to this, 13 positions gained in the 77. Rosso quickly firing back the inside line, carrying a little bit more corner speed. Now I'm interested to see how the trucks are handling, especially for those that only took 2 tires. Will it possibly help them rotate the machine a little bit and make them a little bit looser off? Jeremy Paris, Jeff Radke trying to close the gap here. Fulton, your race leader. Fulton may have made a mistake there in 3. Losing fistful of time to the second and third place drivers. Here comes Paris. Here comes Radke, linked up nose to tail. Now they know the drivers battling so intently right behind them. Now is their chance to catch back up to Fulton, try and make something happen. Ross still holding on to that 4th place spot. Wondering if he's unhappy with the tire decision he made here. Easy, boys. There's Eric Parks getting all sorts of loose out of 4. Making strong, trying to go the long way around in that 77 machine. You know, Strunk has short run pace. How is his long run game as he works his way back into the 4th? About a second back from the top 3. And Derrick Fulton has held on to about a 3/4 advantage over Paris and Radke, still leading up. Got 19 drivers on the lead lap out of the 20 who entered. There's another intense battle going on. William Price, John Mullahan. Just inside the top 10. Now Jay Gardner's going to roll out of pit road after 4.5 minutes here. As we pull up the live timing software on the left side, we wait for it to update. There we go, still green flag conditions. We've also got Stahl in the 66 machine. He's about a half second back from Jay Price. Up front, they're still battling for second. Radke and Fulton have caught up to Jeremy Paris. Oh, excuse me, Fulton has fallen back to 3rd here. We're watching the battle for 3rd. Somehow Paris and Radke both got around the race leader, the friendly Canadian. And more side-by-side action. That's Chad Ross, Eddie Hawks, Kenneth Paco Jr. McCullough down 4 spots from where he started in the 03 machine. There's just a lot going on here. Let's back that camera angle out a little bit, as this is a 3-truck battle for 12th. It's Stahl, Page, Babb, all in the fray, trying to close that 3/10 advantage to William Price. As behind them, the rest of the field fairly spread out. Just great racing all across the track. So many 2-wide battles going on. That's Zach Talley, John Mullahan running 9th and 10th. Mullahan is up 6 spots. Talley down 1. A little bit ahead of them, Ryan Strunk, Eric Parks, side by side, the battle for 4th. Now, Chad Ross has gambled to only take 2 tires. I still think paid off pretty well. He's sitting squarely inside the top 10. And will be good to go on fuel for quite a while here. Mullahan, Talley continue battling for that final spot just inside the 9th place battle. It looks like they're catching up to Eddie Hawks in the 45, but you guys are throwing haymakers. They can't be going anywhere too quickly, diving back and forth like that. But these guys are here to race and put on a show. Doesn't matter if it's for 1st or 10th. Absolutely here to deliver. Back up front, looks like Jeffrey Radke taking over the second place spot from Fulton. Fulton was firing back in the number 7 Toyota, trying to get that machine to rotate. But we think the top 2 drivers, Paris and Radke, are on a 4-tire stop, as we are fairly confident Fulton only took 2 that last time by. I gotta keep handing back to this battle for 9. And you can see the scrape marks on the side of Zach Talley's number 30 machine. Oh, did he just get doored by Mullahan? Talley falls back rather quickly. And Corey Stahl may try and capitalize on number 30's mistake there, where lack of fortune. Here comes Stahl, trying to work the outside line. They still got about a 4/10 advantage over Wally Babb. But I think the tire wear really becoming a factor here. Stahl looks like he's going to work his way inside the top 10 point, about a 10th on Zach Talley's number 30 machine. Still looks like 19 drivers out on track on the lead lap. It almost looks like the trucks are kind of loading up here and almost pogoing to the corner of the suspension. Just gets wound up, and when it finally unbinds itself, starts bouncing that rear end around a little bit. As you can see, Talley is hanging right there with Stahl despite being moving that inside line. We've got 3 distinct battles out on track. We've got the battle for 7th, which we're going to pan to. That's Paco Jr., Eddie Hawks, and John Mullahan, a nice tidy 3-truck pack. We've also got Zach Talley, Wally Babb, William Price, 3 trucks battling for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Your top 4 separated by about 3 to 5 tenths between everybody. And then from 15th place back, a little bit of no man's land is, look, we hinted 3 wide again. Mullahan looks to the inside line of Hawks. Hawks thought he was taking a peek inside of McCullough, backs out of it, I'd say rather wisely. Now Mullahan in that bright green, mean number 6 machine. He's gained 8 positions so far. Still not the hard charger of the evening. That's going to be Ryan Strunk sitting inside the top 5, up 12 spots. Mullahan's got to be feeling good with the forward progress he's made. Looks like Mullahan's going to make it 9 spots game as he's side by side with McCullough. The battle looks like Mullahan's going to get clear here. He might slide up. And speaking of sliding up, Ryan Strunk trying to work his way up into 4th now on the outside line against Parks in the 73 machine. Looks like Strunk is going to make it 13 spots gained so far, a little bit further ahead. Derrick Fulton, Jeff Radke still going at it here. Fulton down low, Radke up on the high line. They're about 6 tenths back from your race leader, Jeremy Paris. As we are not even to the halfway mark of today's main event. As it looks like Fulton gonna shake off Strunk. Still about 3 tenths back from Radke, but Radke's finding some time here. Now the top driver's getting a little bit spread out from about 8th to 14th place. McCullough, Hawks, Stahl, Talley, Babb, Page, Kaufman. Running about 1.5 seconds of each other here. So it looks like that was Corey Stahl and Eddie Hawks battling for 9. Mark McFadden's going to be one of the first drivers down pit road on lap 71 for a green flag stop. Now, we have not seen a full fuel run, say that 5 times fast, out of these drivers yet this evening. So it's going to be interesting to see just how far they can go. Eddie Hawks, Zach Tiley, side by side. Right behind him, that's Wally Babb, the 99 Ford F-150 driver. Kind of hanging on, watching what's going to happen. Ball way up against the wall as Talley and Hawks still going at it here. Talley's going to keep that forward momentum, or at least try to. It looks like McFadden back out on track. He took 4 tires in that stop. And I think Eddie Hawks losing some pace here, as here comes Wally Babb in the 99. Now just about everybody out on track came down pit road on lap 35 under caution with the entirety of the field. The big differentiating factor, there's a spattering of drivers who opted for 2 to try and get that all-important track position. Corey Stahl in 9th, putting the pressure on McCullough. Oh, we've got problems. That's Kaufman. That's Chris Luttrell, I think. And I think Jay Dargert was tied up in that one somehow. Take a look here. Let's see what happened to Dargert. I think he was an innocent bystander tucking in behind in that 57. As, oh, there's the incident up ahead. The number 41 machine comes up track. That was Kaufman trying to see who got taken out on that one. And poor Dargert can't catch a break. Watch that one once more, focusing in on James Kaufman, the number 41 machine. Oh, I think that's going to be Stephen Page and Eddie Hawks. Eddie Hawks just gets drilled there. And one more time for the fans at home. Let's get that FEG PC.net chopper cam queued up. Yeah, I don't think that was ever going to work. I think Kaufman, with a pretty bad mistake, drove it in way too deep. And then poor Dargert can't catch a break. And that's going to bring the field down pit road for our second caution of the night. And let's see who leaves pit road in the top spot. That's going to be our second caution of the evening. Look at this. Ryan Strunk with a big gamble, a 2-tire stop. He's going to make it 16 positions gained, starting in the number 1 position. I think Derrick Fulton may have had issues. Coming down pit road, he's fallen all the way back to 11th. Fulton's got problems here. Surely he didn't get a penalty. Watch his pit entry here. The first pit entry. I don't see how you can get a penalty on pit road under caution. I have no idea what just happened to Fulton. Back out on track. I think he's going to be on the lead lap, but he's going to be at the tail end here. Spent 34 seconds in his pit stall. Does Fulton maybe have some sort of damage? But the friendly Canadian's going to drop like a rock down the standings. Trying to get a report on that one, see exactly what just happened. But it's going to be Ryan Strunk, Jeremy Paris on the front row, Jeff Radke, Eric Berkshire second row, Chad Ross, Zach Talley your third row. We've got more drivers coming down pit road. Chad Ross, John Mullahan, Ken Paco Jr., Eddie Hawk, Stephen Page, James Kaufman, as well as Derrick Fulton. Something's gone wrong here. Are they trying to maybe hit fuel numbers? Pace car is in. And we are green flag racing once more. 54 laps left to go here at Iowa. A brief intermission, then we're going to fire right back up in Michigan this evening. And we did get confirmation from somebody down on pit road that drivers may be trying to hit fuel numbers, which is why we saw so many guys come down pit road once more. And now we're going to see if Ryan Strunk can make something happen and hold on to it on a two-tire stop. And no, here comes Jeffrey Radke. He's got 4 freshmen underneath him in the battle for the lead. Strunk trying to hold on to it. Look at Corey Stahl, number 66. He's worked his way up inside the top 5. Radke taking over the race lead. Oh, touches the outside wall. Strunk's going to fire back. That's going to slow down the pace. Here comes Jeremy Paris, Parks, and Stahl, making up the top 5. With Strunk and Radke throwing haymakers up front as Radke, another bobble, gets loose coming down the back stretch. Not even to the end of this thing, and these guys are going absolutely at it side by side for the race lead. Radke up the inside line once more. Strunk trying the outside line. But it looks like Radke may be very, very loose here in the 51. Trying to hit Strunk with the old slide job, makes it happen. And I think Radke right now is going to try and put his head down, see if he can stretch the gap. Because that three-car pack running third, fourth, and fifth, Paris, Parks, and Stahl are going to try and get things going as quick as they can. Looks like Parks a little bit of a bobble. Stahl has the check up in the 5th place spot, the number 66 machine. We just heard somebody drill the outside wall. It might have been Chad Ross as he's falling down the standings. There's Derrick Fulton, John Mullahan battling for just inside the top 10. Fulton, one of those drivers who came down pit road a multitude of times. Trying, I can only guess, to make fuel till the end, a massive gamble at the track position. Especially if we have a late race caution coming out here tonight. Like Fulton taking over the 10th place spot. I think we got confirmation. 17 drivers still on the lead lap. We got Rylan Fascinato join us on the YouTube side of tonight's broadcast. cheering on Jeffrey Radke in the number 51 Toyota. Toyota currently running first. Chadley running second and third. Our fastest forward is in fourth with the lights over here at Parks. Now Jeff Radke has quickly built up a half-second advantage over Strunk, Harris, Parks, and Stahl, who round out the top 5. Going on for 11th. Looks like Chad Ross and Eddie Hawks, two drivers that were way up towards the front here this evening. Kind of hanging back, taking it easy. I would imagine it's a couple more drivers that are running on fuel strategy as Jeremy Paris makes the pass for second over Ryan Strunk. Our hard charger tonight, but Strunk fires right back on the outside line. Right behind him, that's Eric Parks, Corey Stahl. Stahl looking for a career best here in the 66 machine. And I think we're going to go too wide, too deep in the battle for second. Jeffrey Radke gone out front in the 51. Now this is exactly what Radke wants. These drivers throwing big moves behind him, slowing down the race pace as Paris and Strunk almost get into each other. Park's not able to find a way through here, but he's got a bird's eye view of the action ahead as we go on board with that 73 machine. Eric Parks and the Ford F-150. That's Ryan Strunk in the 77, just ahead on the high line. Jeremy Paris has dropped back low in the 24. And you can see Corey Stahl trying to work his way a little bit further forward. Wally Babb hanging back in 6th. He's up 7 spots. As it looks like Paris stretching his legs just the slightest bit from Strunk. You think Paris is on 4 tires, Strunk most likely on 2. As he's got Parks installed both on 4 tire strategies right behind that 77 machine. That's going to be really tough to defend over the long run as the tires fall off. Looks like Parks trying to work his way in 3rd. We've got 17 drivers on the lead lap. It looks like everybody possibly may still be rolling. Jay Dargert has left his pit stall but has not returned back out on track. As the field's starting to stretch out a little bit here. Keep an eye on guys like Derrick Fulton, Paco Jr. running 8th and 9th. They both came down through the lap 79 together. About 5 drivers did to splash off just a little bit more fuel to try and make it to the end. Looks like Corey Stahl looking for a way around the 77 machine. He's looking to get a little bit higher inside the top 5. Stahl, one of those racers over his time here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series, has definitely been on the up and up, getting faster and faster and arguably more consistent, which I think is more important. To finally make something happen, we're going to pull up his statistics real quickly. Now, Stahl has had one win at Talladega. That was way back at April 25th. Bringing it home at the Super Speedway. That's his one and only win so far this season. As more racing going on, Eddie Hawks, Chad Ross, John Mullahan. Are we going to go 3 wide here? All these drivers battling for 11, but we think they're in fuel-saving mode. Maybe not, as Mullahan, Hawks, and Ross are starting to wick up the pace a little bit. Machinado cheering on the distance drivers, the 66 of Stahl, the 99 of Babb. They're happy to see all those team trucks still out on track. Starting to stretch out a little bit. Speaking of Stahl and Babb, Babb has pressure as here comes Derrick Fulton ripping the inside line. Oh, are we going to see 2 teammates working together here? Fulton with fresh tires underneath him. I believe no, I think Fulton, well, he may have fresh tires. It shows him as a splash up on lap 79, but I think he's got 4 fresh ones underneath him. Babb gonna fend off the friendly Canadian for as long as he can as he's tucked in behind his teammate Corey Stahl in the 66. Trying to rotate that truck as much as he can. Looks like a little bit of traffic ahead of him here as they both drop down low. That's Chris Luttrell in a double zero machine. He's going to go a lap down. Derrick Fulton with a big lunge, nowhere to put it, as the 2 distance drivers hold on to 5th and 6th right in front of him. Babb defending the inside line. Stahl up high. Fulton trying to follow the 66 machine around the 99. Looks like he may have it here. But he's got his work cut out for him as we are rapidly clicking off laps. Fulton tipping back down low, trying to work his way inside the top 5. These 2 drivers are battling for 5th. Stahl and Fulton are about 8 tenths back, 7 tenths back from Ryan Strunk. As it looks like Fulton may get the squeeze here. If he tries to charge back up towards the front. So Fulton's worked his way into 5th. The 2 distance drivers, Stahl and Babb, battling for 6th right behind. Looks like William Price, number 34 machine, going to join the party. "25 laps left to go here at Iowa. It's Radke, Paris, Parks, Strunk, and Fulton currently our top 5. As we still got great racing across the track. Look at this, more 2 wide, 2 deep. It's McCullough, Mullahan, Pally, and Hawks all in the fray. No, that was lap traffic with Chris Luttrell. It's a 3-car shootout here. And Jeffrey Radke is going to come down pit road late with 24 laps left to go. He's seeing the writing on the wall, knowing he's going to be short on fuel. He'll be the first driver in this final stint to come down. else is going to be short on fuel, and who's going to gamble on a late race caution? Corey Stahl, Wally Babb, the two teammates down pit road together. That's going to put Derrick Fulton, Ryan Strunk battling for a podium position. Fulton came in on lap 79. He's got 3 more laps of fuel than everybody else in front of him here. Will that be enough to try and make something happen? Judging by Fulton just hammering the throttle, I don't think he's doing much, if any, fuel saving. Corey Stahl, Wally Babb, Chris Luttrell, all hitting their pit boxes. We're going to pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is during this pit cycle. 21 laps left to go. Fulton now showing third. Jeremy Paris, Eric Carl showing first and second ahead of them. Both came in on lap 76. Fulton topped off on lap 79. As Fulton closing the gap here, looks like, to Parks, who may be trying to do some fuel saving. 20 laps left to go. John Mullihan coming down pit road. Now, we've seen late race cautions throw a wrench in the best strategies before here on a Monday night. Will it happen again? Or are we going to run clean out till the end as we're 19 to go? Paris has a 2.1 second advantage over Eric Parks. And Derrick Fulton slowly reeling in that number 73 Ford F-150. Luttrell in the 00 with those fresh tires underneath them coming around. Jeffrey Racky just clicked off a 23.69. Netting once again a fastest lap of the race in that 51 Toyota Tundra. Now both drivers on the high line here. Eric Parks, Derrick Fulton on the lead lap, and Luttrell trying to unlap himself in the 00. Getting one of his laps back here. This is going to be very interesting if we go green all the way. It's going to be a massive gamble. From it looks like the top 12 out on track, staying out from that lap anywhere between 76 and 79 pit stop. And judging by how many wily veterans we saw come back down pit road to top off, I think there's going to be several guys very, very short on fuel if we do go green till the end. And even that's a big if. Things are going to get a little bit more heated as now there's more and more traffic out on track. That's Radke in the 51, getting a lap back from the third place driver Derrick Fulton. Now Eric Parks is going to have to let the 51 machine by, or at least I would assume he would want to. Not wanting to put those trucks in too much danger. The top 12 are going to be very short on fuel if we go all the way to the end here under green flag racing conditions. Again, you've got guys like Paris. I mean, really anybody inside the top 12 has raced a whole lot here on a Monday night. They are extremely good at fuel calculations. As Derrick Fulton says, all right, Parks, it's time to go. As the 07 machine tries to battle for the second place spot, Parks fires back and a little bit more room up on the high side. Fulton defends on the inside line, falling back just a little bit here. Let's see if we see a big lunge out of the 07 machine into turn 1. Not quite able to throw it in there deep enough as Parks answers back. All the while losing more and more time to Jeremy Paris at number 24. As we briefly go 3 wide with traffic, that was Peyton Aldridge. believe, a newcomer this series. He's running 13th out on track. Now Fulton's in a pretty good spot here. He's got 3 more laps of fuel than Parks does. So he can afford to set the pace and try and get things going a little bit more quicker. Knowing Parks, or at least I think he knows Parks, it's going to be a little bit close here at the end. Looks like Fulton trying out the high line instead as we're 10 laps left to go. The friendly Canadian, a big lunge up the inside line. Can he get clear through 1 and 2? And it looks like he will here. If Fulton can somehow pull something off on strategy, I'm going to absolutely lose it up here in the booth. As Parks not willing to let him get away too quickly, too easily. Getting right back in the draft off that Toyota. We just heard somebody blow up in pit road. Or at least I did over the headset. Terrified that was a crash we just heard. And speaking of crash, Jay Darter had problems. He takes a tow to pit road. But we'll keep things clean and green. We got more drivers coming out on track. I think that may have been Larry McDonald. Yes, it was, in the number 80 machine. A little bit further back, there's Ryan Strunk, who's worked his way up into 4th. He's trying to defend against William Price in the 34. Strunk, still your hard charger, up 13 positions gained. And what's going on here in 8th place? Zach Talley, Eddie Hawks, putting on a show of their own. Still great racing all across the track. Corey Stahl involved in his own battle with what looks like Larry McDonald. Eric Parks has come down pit road in the 73 machine. Price still battling out with Strunk. Now finds himself in podium contention, but no, Strunk fires back up on the high side. Now we're starting to see drivers who know they're not going to be able to make it till the end. Parks waited very late in the run, but he's going to be about 6 laps short on fuel. What about Paris, your race leader? His last pit stop was on lap 76. Fulton came in on lap 79. It's going to be close for everybody inside the top 8, excuse me. You've got Jeffrey Radke back in 9th. He was one of the first drivers to come down pit road on lap 111. He is hoping everybody in front of him maybe gambled the wrong way. We check back in on race leader Jeremy Paris. It's going to be 3 laps left to go as that number 24 machine crosses the line. His last time by, a 24.94. Derrick Fulton with a 25.05. If we can take the white flag, we will run this thing to the end under green flag conditions. But if we have a crash at this point, it's going to put us into green-white checker overtime situation. 2 to go here in Iowa. The first main event of the night after podium speeches and a brief intermission. We're going to go straight to Michigan for our doubleheader after being off last week. White flag will be out this time by for Jeremy Paris. White flag is out. No more cautions of the night. And we've got problems at the back. Corey Stahl. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Stahl's crashed out. The checkered flag will fly, and Jeremy Paris will pick up his first win here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. What happened to where'd Derrick Fulton? He's going to finish second. He showed involved in an off track. And William Price will be third. Let's take a quick look at that and see what happened to Fulton. Fulton down low in the number 7 machine. Oh, Stahl got a little bit of loose. Got into the 41 of, I think that's Kaufman. That explains it. Fulton took evasive maneuvers. And Jeremy Paris is going to burn it down here at Iowa. But not too much because he's out of fuel, I think. So that's how close it was for Jeremy Paris. Going to get drivers slowly up here into the top 3. We've got Jeremy Paris. We've got William Price. We were waiting on Derrick Fulton, so we'll get things started here. Up first, we got William Price joining us. Welcome. That top 3, that was a hard-fought battle. It looked like it very quickly came down to fuel and strategy here. Well, I just realized my mic was muted and you couldn't hear me, William, so let's try that again. But welcome to the top 3, a great run, and it looked like it very quickly came down to fuel and strategy here in the back half of the race at Iowa.
Absolutely, man. I ran out of gas coming out of 4 on the last lap right there, so like I barely made it.
Yeah, I mean, what point did you start realizing? I mean, you're one of the drivers who came in on lap 76. We saw a lot of drivers splash off an additional, I guess, a little bit of buffer room there under that caution stop. Were you a little bit worried that the guys with 3 more laps were going to have an advantage?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I didn't know if I was gonna make it until, like 10, 15 to go. I was thinking that I might have to go in, might not. I was just trying to save as much as I could, the whole last run, really.
Well, it seemed like the gamble worked out very well for you, bringing home a 3rd-place finish, a relatively clean car, and I think you were 6th in the points coming into tonight, so you've got to be happy and tying with a career best after, oh no, it's already updated. Well for him. So yeah, career best here tonight at Iowa. You got to be super pleased with yourself.
Yeah, man. No, it was a good race. Relatively clean race, and yeah, everything was good. I enjoyed it a lot. Hopefully, we can keep this going into Michigan.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Wish you the best of luck. And William, before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this evening possible for you?
Just the old wife let me race on here, double header tonight.
Awesome. William, congratulations. We'll hope to have you back up here later in the evening.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir. That was William Price bringing it home in 3rd. Up next, we got the friendly Canadian, Derrick Fulton. Welcome to the top spot. Definitely an interesting strategy, but we've seen that before you plenty of times before, topping off under caution. You had us freaking out up here in the broadcast. We were thinking you somehow got a black flag, or we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. That's what I was just saying to Jeremy there. We didn't know it was going to go green, but I figured, hey, I'd throw a Hail Mary. I definitely wasn't expecting Jeremy to be able to save as much as he did. I think we should definitely look into his roll cage, make sure there's not some extra fuel in there. But besides that, no,
Or
I'm just kidding.
the bigger fuel line diameter, I think, is my favorite one, so you can hold more. But you're right. I mean, he's got to be close. We didn't see a victory burn out because it had no more gas in it. But hold on, I mean, you still got to be happy with the strategy. I mean, it was a safe call and it was a very good points paying call.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be too upset with the strategy. I mean, Jeremy just pulled a Hail Mary out and got it done. So did exactly what he needed to do. Our strategy still played out like we wanted to. It's just Jeremy somehow pulled off the impossible.
Yeah, the absolute mad lad. But Derrick, we're getting ready to go to Michigan for our 2nd round of the doubleheader here tonight. How's it going to be going from such vastly different tracks back to back and having to quickly adapt at that?
We've been doing a lot of the super speedway stuff, so I think we're going to be pretty used to the pack racing. It's definitely going to be interesting at Michigan, though, because the banking is obviously very different. So limited practice too, so we're going to all be a little rusty at that track and just go out there and give her our all.
Well, looking forward to an exciting one as always. A great run here tonight. Again, great points paying for the '07 machine. And Derrick Fulton should sign off and get ready for Michigan. Who do you want to give a shout out to that made it possible for you?
Big shout out to adminbox.com for coming on board with us. And then, as always, octorap.com. If you need a wrap, just hit us up.
Awesome. Derrick, congratulations. Hope to have you back up here later on the night. And a great run as always, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
That was Derrick Fulton joining us in the second place spot. But up next, the man of the hour, Jeremy Paris, bringing home the win. And I want to say no fuel left in that thing. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
We had a couple laps left.
Oh, God, that must have been close. And at what point were you confident you could run until the end over that run, or were you white-knuckling it all the way around?
We started saving when we came out of the pits, so there was not a whole lot of white knuckling there. It was a save strategy. So if it went green, it was going to work. If it didn't, we still had a set of tires laying, and we went racing.
Now, and that's a good point. It's not uncommon for us to see a late race caution that throws a wrench in such great strategy. So either way, I guess you were fairly confident with having those tires behind the wall. You could still be up there battling.
Yeah, Derrick was pretty fast on the short run. I don't know what we would have done with him there, but we were definitely giving it a battle.
Jeremy, a great run, your first win of the segment. Hopefully many more to come. And I'm always rooting for the Georgia natives myself, so very cool to see. And you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of at least this race in the doubleheader night. Who do you want to give a shout to? Any friends, family, sponsors? The floor is wide open and yours, my friend.
Yeah, I just want to thank the guys on the team. We got a 1, 2, a 6th, and an 8th there. Of course, John, my spotter, he helped with the fuel strategy there. So we're gonna go grab another one at Michigan.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Best of luck, and we hope to be talking to you again later in the night.
Hey, thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. And that was Jeremy Paris bringing home the win, the opening round of tonight's doubleheader. Don't forget, we're going to have a brief intermission, and then we're going to roll right into it here in Michigan at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. Stick around. You do not want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, race fans, to the second round of the night of tonight's doubleheader at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series, brought to you by FEGPC.net. We are back, and I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action to 1080p, 60 frames a second. And now we're at the Michigan International Speedway, the virtual version at least. We're going to go another 135 laps around the 2-mile raceway. We do have a poll up on the YouTube side of things. Let us know. Can Jeremy Paris make it a back-to-back here at the doubleheader? We're going to find out live and in style as qualifying is underway. It looks like qualifying fixed this time by 16 drivers have put down times thus far. And as we look and wait and see, it looks like Ryan Strunk, Derrick Fulton, Zach Talley, James Duke, and Eddie Hawks have yet to put down a time here. It's going to be interesting to see if they do so. Not much time is left in qualifying. Maybe a strategy to stay towards the back. James Kaufman burning some laps now. Now qualifying was fixed to 2 laps or 5 minutes, whatever comes first. Jeremy Paris, we talk about the doubleheader. He's on pole right now, the number 24 machine. Just a single 100th of a second ahead of Eric Parks, the 73. Now, Michigan kind of races like a super speedway. It's going to be interesting to see, and maybe somebody like Strunk, Fulton, Talley, Duke, Hawks that have opted to not qualify here may be in a good position. Start from the back, take it easy, let the other guys maybe get involved in some incidents, and then bring it on home, because after this, we're going to take the top 8 drivers to the segment championship. Right now in the standings, it's Radke, Paris, McCullough, Stahl, Fulton, Hawks, Price, and Parks in the top 8. They need to finish strong here because you've got guys such as Ross, Babb, Mullahan, Talley, Page, Luttrell, McFadden, all in the mix, still have a chance to bring it home and find themselves in that final playoff round. And that segment championship will be decided next week. Let's get ready to put them out on track for the final time of the evening. And run through tonight's grid, starting on pole. Jeremy Paris, number 24 machine. Eric Parks starting second. Kenneth Paco Jr. starts third. Dalton McKinney starting fourth. We've got Chad Ross starting fifth. William Price starts sixth. James Kaufman starting seventh. Wally Babb starting eighth. Jeff Radke starts ninth. Chris Luttrell starting 10th. Mark McFadden starting 11th. Stephen Page starting 12th. Cycling back to Larry McDonald starting 13th. John Mullahan starts 14th. J.A. Dargert starting 15th. Corey Stahl starts 16th. Derrick Fulton starting 17th. Ryan Strunk starting 18th. James Duke starts 19th. Eddie Hawks starting 20th. And Zach Talley will round out the 21 truck field here. Again, let us know across the Twitch channel, across YouTube. And then this broadcast will be posted in its entirety immediately on the Team Goon Squad Roku channel. One of the first sim broadcasting companies to bring its way onto the silver screen. Do me a favor, go over to your Roku device, give us a like, subscribe to that channel, 100% free, and enjoy racing 6 days a week, as well as some real life footage being sprinkled in there. Again, the poll is up on YouTube. Let us know, can Jeremy Paris make it back-to-back here tonight? Trying to bring home that prestigious doubleheader, double win. Rolling out behind our iRacing safety car. The final race of the evening. And then we're going to whittle it down to just 8 drivers in the segment championship next week. Of course, that's going to be brought to you live as we head to Kansas Speedway. Then we're going to have an off week before segment 6 fires up on Bristol, September 21st. It's going to be Paris and Parks on the front row. McCullough, McKinney, your second row. Ross and Price, your third row. Ready for that iRacing safety car to make its way down pit road to signal the start of the main final event of the night. Now it looks like Zach Talley, the number 30 machine, not able to get out on track. Pace car is in. And the green flag is out here in Michigan. 135 laps around the 2-mile speedway. Harris going to be on that inside line. Parks still accompanying him up in the high line. McCullough tucks in behind the number 24. It looks like Chad Ross also there squarely in the mix. Now Paris wants nothing more than to make it a back-to-back doubleheader for him. But Eric Parks has other plans as he shoots up the inside line against the number 24. Oh, a little bit of bumping and grinding there between. I think that was Paris and McKinney. We go 3 wide. Things are getting heated. Looks like a bit of netcode between the two as well. McKinney and the purple and yellow 46 machine just barely tapped that number 24 machine of Paris. I don't think it was malicious. I think it very well could have been netcode. As now Kenneth Paco Jr. is going to shove his nose of the 03 machine up into the lead, up 2 spots early on. 2 wide, 2 rows deep, almost 3 rows deep as Wally Babb and Jeremy Paris try and collect themselves back up towards the front. Paris taking a moment to collect himself after very nearly having those hopes dashed. McCullough taking his time, choosing what line he thinks is going to be the fastest here, setting the pace ahead of Parks and Ross. Guys are pushing early here this evening. Chad Ross going to fire back, but we've got problems in the back with Corey Stahl. Oh, a violent hit. And then Strunk, and it looked like Dargert tied up in that one as well. Let's see what happens starting this off with Corey Stahl to see where the party initiate at. The number 66 machine we saw flying through the air. Stahl all the way up against the wall. Next to the 77, that's Strunk. So far, so good. Dargert in front in that lead pack. Strunk, oh, just drills Dargert. Dargert goes up into the wall, and look at Corey Stahl. I don't know how many rotations that was, but I can guarantee you it's good enough for gold at X Games. And a massive, massive pileup to start things off here at Michigan. I think that's going to put Stahl and Dargert possibly out of the race. Not ideal, our first caution of the night. Ryan Strunk pulls down the apron. Must have some sort of problems here. You know, he's waiting for the field to come around. I think that was Dargert getting fired back up. Several drivers coming down pit road. Wally Babb, Dalton McKinney, Jeremy Paris, Jeff Radke, Eddie Hawks, James Duke, Derrick Fulton. All down pit road for our first caution of the night. Not sure who I heard just blow up on pit road, but it was a loud one, letting the magic smoke out of these racing trucks. Looks like Corey Stahl has put it back in the virtual hauler. He's done in the number 66 machine, unfortunately. That's going to put Ken Paco Jr., Chad Ross on the front row. Eric Parks, William Price, your second row. Mullahan and Kaufman will be your third row as the field starts to form back up. It could very well be a long evening for the gentlemen out on track if this is going to set the pace. No pun intended. We will try this once more. Now the top 10 have all opted to stay out here. Everybody else out on track came down pit road lap 4 or 5 to splash off on fuel. I don't think anybody's going to take tires here that early on. Especially the limited set. Derrick Fulton in pit road for an extended stay in the 07 machine. What happened to Fulton? Didn't see him on a crash report. Now Fulton was 5th in points, so he's one of those drivers. It's going to be a little bit close to see if he makes it into the championship round next week. We're only taking the top 8. But we go green flag racing once more. Now everybody's a little bit wary as we know cautions breed cautions. Fulton with a, McCullough with a big launch. Like for the most part, everybody's single file. That's Eric Parks. Yeah, William Price briefly up on the high side. It's a little bit further back. I think I saw the number 46 at Dalton McKinney. Yes, going 3 wide here. It's McKinney, McDonald, Babb, all in the fray. McKinney not afraid to lick the stamp and send it. So it's McKinney, McDonald, Luttrell, and now Babb all in the fray is up front. It's more 2 wide action as far as you can see. Ken Paco Jr. with a big run on the outside line. Trying to join up with Chad Ross in the 38. Everybody's shuffling for spots there. There's Eric Parks trying to muscle his way in the 73. Right behind them, Stephen Page, William Price round out the top 5. We've also got, really everybody inside the top 10 all bunched up together. And more action going on a little bit further back as everybody's swerving across the racetrack. Trying to avoid drivers that tag that outside wall. Not even 10 laps in, and all sorts of excitement. As we're going to keep it on this wide-angle shot here to let you know just how hectic it is for these drivers out on track. That's William Price, John Mullahan going side by side. The battle for 5th, Dalton McKinney in tow, as well as James Kaufman, Wally Babb. Up front, it's still Chad Ross, the 38 machine, as he's got Page and Parks side by side right behind him. Page up 10 spots so far in that number 1 machine. And Dalton McKinney had set the fastest time of the race so far, a 39.67 that last time by, and that's with heavy traffic and a lot of drivers throwing elbows. Trying to pick up those track positions as quickly as they possibly can. Now this is the top 8 that's all wildly bunched up as now Stephen Page has taken over the race lead from Chad Ross. Yeah, gotta agree with Rylan Fosh and Auto tuning in on the YouTube side of the broadcast. Very, very intense, especially with how few laps we've clicked off. We're only 10 laps into a 135 lap main event. We've already sacrificed some racing bodywork to the trackside gods, and we're gonna go 3 wide once more with Mullahan, McKinney, and Parks. Parks way up on the high line. McKinney and Mullahan looking down low. Look at the run from Mullahan, that number 6 machine. Finding some pace, looking to the inside line of Ross. Ross might carry a little bit more corner speed here, and without that draft support from behind, Mullahan may be in trouble as McKinney lends his support to Chad Ross in the 38. And don't count out Parks in the 73 machine as well. He wants right back up there. And look at Mullahan. Absolutely going for it. Up 12 spots so far. Stephen Page, your race leader, he's up 11 spots. Mullahan doing it without a whole lot of draft support. McKinney and Ross touch on the high line. That's going to slow the outside line rather drastically as we go 3 wide once more. There's McCullough, McKinney, Ross. Inside to outside through 1 and 2. Mullahan's taking over the race lead. He's got Parks tucked in behind him. Oh, I'm going to have to grab a water and buckle up. We're going to have a long night ahead of us as there's Eric Parks pushing Mullahan's number 6 machine. And let's build up a little bit of a gap as there is a hornet's nest right behind us. That is, I believe, the top 14 drivers, all in a massive pack. Mullahan holding on to the race lead. Page and Parks continue side by side behind. You've also got Ross and McCullough side by side. McKinney looking for any sort of opening. If you came into tonight's finale expecting single file racing and fuel runs, I might have some bad news for you. Here comes James Coffin, the number 41 machine. Started off qualifying 7th, still running 7th. Ooh, but man, how close these guys are getting coming across the start-finish line. Hitting speeds in excess of 190 miles an hour here at Michigan. Anything that goes wrong will compound extremely quickly. With a very tight wheel-to-wheel racing we're seeing so far. Speaking of wheel-to-wheel, that's Babb and Price. Babb looks like he's going to come out the victor here, but no, look at Eddie Hawks as well, the 45. He's up 11 spots. It is the night of hard chargers here at Michigan. Now look at the top 5. Have calmed down ever so slightly, hopping in a single file formation, but behind Dalton McKinney, that 46 machine. Still a lot of 2 wide and door-to-door action. Is a big run from Babb in the 99. He's going to try and get around the outside line of Hawks in the 41. Excuse me, the 45, as well as Kaufman in the 41. Chad Ross also having his own fray up front. Now Mullahan's happy out front, 4/10 ahead of Eric Parks, enjoying the clean air in front of him. McKinney trying to close that 3/10 advantage that Stephen Page has in 5th. Page up, looks to be 7 spots so far, and more 3 wide action. That's McKinney on the outside. Babb squeezed in the middle in the 41 of Kaufman way down low. Babb's going to work his way up to 6th in the number 99 machine, shuffling past McKinney. No time gain or lost on the top 5 here. A big run from Jeremy Paris, the number 24 machine. Paris, one of those drivers that came down pit road on lap 5 to fuel up, get off strategy, try something different. And Mullihan already aggressively working his way back up towards the front. The gap is closed to Mullihan up front. 0.15 of a second separating Mullihan from Eric Parks in second. Parks still has Ross tucked in right behind him. I thought Kaufman was going to give a bit of a shove there to Paris. No such luck. They've lost a 10th now to Wally Babb. They're 4/10 behind. Babb trying to close the gap to Stephen Page. And speaking of Stephen Page, he's got his own battle going on. Page trying to work his way around McCullough. Babb right behind in the 99. Page up 8 spots now, running 4th. Mullihan holds onto the race lead as Babb tucks in behind McCullough in 5th. And again, an absolute meat grinder out here in the top 15. McCullough throws it in very deep on the inside line. Taking over that 4th place spot from Page. Page has company as here comes Babb. McKinney. Babb, Paris. And the number 41 of James Coffin. McKinney has fallen back to about the 12th place spot. Paris has fire in his eyes. Now number 24 machine wanting that back-to-back here. Dominant fashion in Iowa. Wants to do it again. The top 3 have a bit of a breakaway. A little bit over a half second. Separates Chad Ross in 3rd and Stephen Page in 4th. Paris tucked in behind the number 1 of Page. Will he give his draft support? Is he going to try and do it himself? Looks like for the time being, Paris is going to stay behind the number 1 machine. And they are closing the gap to the top 3 down to about 0.3 of a second. Page, with the help of Jeremy Paris, closing the gap rather quickly. Wally Babb getting some love from the fans here tonight, as he is not afraid to get right in the mix of it. Here comes Paris, looking at the inside line of Page. They're about a 1/4 second back from the top 3, so Paris may be able to pull that draft to his advantage. Mullihan holding on to the race lead. Parks 2nd, Ross in 3rd. Top 3 stretch about, it's about still a 1/4 of a second, so Jeremy Paris has his head down. And I think he's going to catch the draft here and rapidly close the gap to the top 3. We'll have about the top 10, top 11 very close in this pack. As here comes Paris working his way to the front, looks to the inside line of Chad Ross. Ross going to stay tucked in behind Parks, using that draft to his advantage. Mullihan way down low. We may see an outside line form up here. Mullihan holds on to the race lead. And look at Paris go, a massive run up the inside line. It's going to be a battle for 2nd for the number 24 and Eric Parks. Parks, there is a whole lot of corner momentum through 1 and 2. Well, Ross, it looks like he's taking a peek to the inside line as well. Or the middle line, I should more aptly say. But Mullihan's going to fall back to 3rd. Eric Parks, your new race leader. As we watch Jeremy Paris with elbows out, he qualified in pole 1 earlier at Iowa. And he wants back out in front in that number 24 machine. Top 7 really bunched up here. Just the smallest bit of breakaway from Kaufman and Babb, running 6th and 7th. Now let's see if we got any other close battles out on track. I think all the action's right here inside the top 7, top 8, I believe. And it looks like we're going to briefly go single file. I would assume that's going to be short-lived based on the absolute shenanigans we saw so far this evening. Chris Luttrell's going to come down pit road for a green flag pit stop. How long can these guys go on a tank of gas as everybody's weaving around trying to see if they can get some support from behind? Mark's still your race leader. He's got Ross in tow right behind him. That's Paris and Mullahan side by side. Paris has moved back up into third. Mullahan looks to go back low. Paris closes the door, and we're going to go 3 wide behind him once more. It's Kaufman, Page, and Babb, and they're here to put on a show for the fans in Michigan. Oh my goodness, my broadcaster heart can't take it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you could ask for a much better race. Larry McDonald also coming down pit road for a green flag stop. Derrick Parks, your race leader, still holds a 1/4 of a second advantage over Chad Ross. Ross has all sorts of company from Jeremy Paris. We've got a couple drivers coming down pit road as well. Quite a few. It's Parks, Ross, Mullahan, Page, Price, Hawks. All down pit road. It's going to lead the top 9. No. It's going to be James Kaufman, Kenneth Paco Jr., and Mark McFadden inside the top 9 who have not come down pit road yet. Under caution to top off on fuel. Besides those other drivers mentioned, everybody else has come down under caution to splash off. I think Radke may be getting set up as well. There's some drivers shuffling to get down to the inside line to get queued up, ready for a pit road. As yes, there goes the 41 machine of Kaufman. McCullough will go down pit road as well as McFadden. Babb and Radke are going to have their own little battle for seconds. Jeremy Paris has stretched a 1.3 second advantage over the rest of the field. That's Chad Ross rolling out of pit road. We think these drivers, the top 5 drivers out on track, can go maybe 2 or 3 more laps before they have to come down pit road. That's going to put us at about a 20 to 23 lap fuel mileage run if the drivers just ran those tanks empty. I'm not sure if they did. I just peeked John Mullahan's number 6 machine ahead of your race leaders. Mullahan's going to go 1 lap down as Paris continues cutting through traffic. Number 24, Stephen Page, going to get his lap back in the number 1. Paris still stretching that fuel run out here. While the rest of the field came in around lap 25, Dalton McKinney and James Duke just came down pit road. Their first green flag stop of the evening. Now your top 3, Paris, Babb, Radke, they came in a lap 4 or 5 under caution to splash off just a little bit. And here comes Mullahan looking to get a lap back from the number 24 of Jeremy Paris. Now Paris in a tight spot here as Mullahan defends the inside line. If he wants to come down pit road this lap, he's going to have to lift mighty early to make it happen. But no, Paris is going to stay out for a little while longer as McKinney and Duke get back out on track. Jeffrey Radke as well as Wally Babb coming down pit road as they run 2nd and 3rd. There's McKinney getting back out on track. So the green flag stop's just about done here as we wait on Jeremy Paris, the last driver who's going to be coming down pit road. A couple of drivers, again, forced into retirement early on. Corey Stahl put it back in the hauler. Derrick Fulton's been in his pit stall for just about 20 minutes. Jay Darger's been in his pit stall for a minute straight. And here we go, the race leader, Jeremy Paris, going to come down pit road. I believe that's going to put Eric Parks as your race leader. Something's happened to Jeffrey Radke. He's down on the apron. Oh, that's because he just left pit road. That makes sense. Radke came down on lap 29. There's Mullahan going to take over the position. I would assume Radke's going to tuck in right behind him here. Jeremy Paris rolling back out on track. That's going to put Eric Parks as your race leader. And I think Parks is going to be kind of out here in no man's land. Now, he came down pit road on lap 25. That should put his next pit stop around lap 45 to 50 if he stays true to form here. Right behind him, Stephen Page, Jeremy Paris have linked up second and third. Other notable battles out on track, William Price, Dalton McKinney running 8th and 9th. As it looks like they've got Larry McDonald and Wally Babb closing the gap. So this is a 4-truck battle for 8th. And it's going to be a heated one here. As McDonald passes McKinney, McKinney passes him back. McDonald doesn't have the draft support on that inside line, all by his lonesome. There's Price up on the high line trying to make something happen as McDonald tries to shake off McKinney and Babb right behind. Looks like McDonald has a big run in that number 80 Toyota on the inside line against Price in the number 34 machine. McDonald making it happen with no draft support. Making quick work of Price, McKinney, and Babb. I wonder, are those three on a fuel strategy together, trying to hit certain amount of laps per tank? A little bit further ahead, Chad Ross has caught the back of John Mullihan. Mullihan still our hard charger, up 10 spots to number 6. Now that the green flag pit stops have worked themselves out. As the field looks to be breaking down single file, I think this is where we're going to start to see fuel strategy become a factor in this finale of tonight's doubleheader. Mullihan still holding on to a strong 4th place, up those 10 positions. Well, like a big blink there out of Ross. Something he's going to want to keep an eye out on. As we check back in on race leader Eric Parks out front, and it looks like he's got a little bit of draft support from traffic. I think that's the 45 machine of Eddie Hawks tucked in right behind him. Hawks showing a couple laps down. But I think Parks is happy to have any sort of draft support he possibly can. Now, I'm very interested to see what Parks' fuel strategy is going to be. I would guess he's going to be coming around that lap 45 mark. But he's continually pulling a gap on the rest of the field, about 3.4 seconds ahead of Jeremy Paris in second. As we pan back to Paris, he does not have nearly the amount of draft support. He's got Stephen Page about 6/10 off of him. Mullihan is second back, who's linked up with Chad Ross. If these four can start getting together and maybe working, they might be able to make something happen. But right now, Parks in a very good spot. It's got clean air on the front of that number 73 machine. Now, he is going to burn up a little bit more fuel out there at the front of the pack, but so is Jeremy Paris, who doesn't have any draft support ahead of him. little bit further back, you can see Mullahan and Ross working together to try and catch up to Stephen Page. They're about a second back from that number 1 machine. Page, he's about 9/10 back from Paris, but somehow Paris is very slowly closing the gap to race leader. Eric Parks, he was about 3/10 faster that last time by. And somehow able to do it without that much draft support. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that one pans out. And interesting enough, Jeremy Paris using a little bit of traffic to his advantage. I think that may be the 00 of Chris Luttrell. Yes, it is. Jeremy Paris using the draft everywhere he can find it. He's closed the gap to 2.6 seconds to your race leader and pulled a 1.4 second advantage over Stephen Page. If Paris can close this gap by himself, that's going to be extremely impressive. Now Mullahan is closing the gap to Stephen Page's number 1 machine. But will they link up before the fuel run is over? They're having to come back down pit road. There's Mullahan and Ross, who have been inseparable over this first run of the night. Page using a little bit of traffic to his own advantage as well. Parks, his race lead has dropped down to 2.1 seconds. The field very spread out here, except several packs. Here's Jeffrey Rackey and William Price running 8th and 9th. A little bit further back, that's Wally Babb, Dalton McKinney, James Duke. They've got about a 3.2 second advantage over Mark McFadden, who runs 13th. Oh my, Babb, McKinney, and Duke are here to race for the top 10. McKinney looking to the inside line, Babb in the middle. Duke out in the high line in no man's land, hops right back behind the 99 of Babb. And the very rare fighting for 10th flying V formation. These guys aren't too worried about pulling themselves back in front of the pack. They're here to race with whoever ends up around them. Love to see it. Babb and McKinney side by side as the top 10, currently held by James Duke in that 76 Chevrolet. Chad Ross still tucked in behind Mullahan. They've gained a little bit of time. They've closed it down to 8/10 on Stephen Page. Meanwhile, race leader Eric Parks losing more and more time to Jeremy Paris in second. Only 1.4 seconds separating the top 2 drivers at this time. We think the fuel window is going to open up next time by for Eric Parks. And then after that, we have no earthly idea how long he's going to run for. Mullahan and Ross working to close that gap to podium position. Will they be able to do it before everybody starts diving down pit road? Park still hold on to a 1.3 second advantage over Jeremy Paris. Paris was about 1/10 faster that last time by than your race leader, so still very slowly closing the gap. Now, it looks like Mullahan and Ross may be catching the draft of that number 1 machine sitting in third. Closing the gap now down to a half a second. I think it's about a 3/10 or so distance that you can really start to catch the clean air off the driver in front of you. Excuse me, I guess it'd be dirty air, but air being punched out of the way in your favor. Chris Luttrell coming back down pit road as we will get ready to watch a 3-truck shootout for the 3rd place spot, down to 4/10 between Page, who knows Mullahan and Ross are closing very, very fast here. Little surprised, Ross has fallen back just a little tiny bit from Mullahan. Wonder if they're getting geared up for a green flag stop as Eric Parks, for the first time in a long time, has Jeremy Paris within a second of him here. Definitely the longest fuel run we've seen so far of the night. Larry McDonald, the number 80 machine, coming down pit road. Well, Chris Luttrell's been there a long time, 40 seconds in his pit stall. I wonder if he's got damage or maybe some sort of pit road violation. And here we go, a 3-truck battle for third. Will they battle, or are they going to try and work together to close the 4.5 second gap? No, as I say that, Eric Parks comes down pit road. Looks like Stephen Page is going to do the same. Paris, Mullahan, Ross, and I believe Kaufman are going to stay out here. Let's see if William Price does to work his way inside the top 5. No, Price comes down pit road. Radke stays out. He'll work his way in the top 5. We're going to put up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to see what your favorite driver is. So that's going to put Jeremy Paris back in the race lead. John Mullahan, Chad Ross linked up. Mullahan may be coming down pit road. Yes, he is. Ross is going to do the same, but carries a whole lot more speed. Mullahan out of shape there. They both get collected and fined coming down pit road. I think Jeffrey Radke, he's going to stay out in the 51. Now, Paris was off cycle. Last pit stop was on lap 30. That may be boding very well for him here in the number 24 machine. See the smoke on pit roads for some aggressive pit entries. The top looks like 6 drivers have yet to come down pit road. As I say that, James Kaufman comes down pit road, but Paris, Radke, Duke, Babb, and McFadden staying out. They've all come down pit road last round, lap 26 in the case of McFadden, or 30 in the case of race leader Jeremy Paris. And now Paris is going to have that draft support once more, trying to build up as much distance as he possibly can. Maybe Paris with that move to get off strategy could be boding well for him here as he's continuously finding time over second place Jeffrey Radke. Handing back to Radke. Oh, he is thoroughly in no man's land. The 51 machine has no draft support anywhere close in front of him or behind him. So that's going to allow Jeremy Paris, your race leader, to continue extending that gap up front. Now, earlier tonight, that was Paris's first win so far of this segment. If he could come back and do it back-to-back, that would be an absolute dominant performance. And look at this, Paris Using traffic, that's Stephen Page, who's going to be in lucky dog contention. The first driver 1 lap down. The Page not having any of it. Says, hey man, I've got to get back on this lead lap. You can worry about Chad Ross right behind me instead. I've got to go. James Duke in the 76 machine down pit road. Looks like Paris may be coming down pit road as well. Number 24, yes, I'm certain he is. Where is that going to put Jeff Radke? He was about 20 seconds back before Paris dived down pit road. It's about a 40-second pit lane time from the time you cross the commitment cones to the time you leave the exit cones. Jeffrey Radke's going to come down pit road behind your race leader, Jeremy Paris. Oh, this is interesting. That may put Eric Parks as your race leader, depending on where Paris is as he gets back out on track. Paris leaving his pit stall after 12.9 seconds. Where is that going to put him ahead of Eric Parks? You can see Paris building up steam through 1 and 2. Here comes Parks. Going to rip around turns 1 and 2 here at Michigan. Paris trying to get that thing revved up as quickly as he can on the apron. And almost immediately going up to the high line to tuck in behind Parks. That's going to give Parks about 5 laps more fuel in that 5 laps less fuel in the 73 machine. Parks came in on lap 48, Paris on lap 53. Paris has about a 1 second advantage over Stephen Page in third as he's right at 1 second behind your race leader. And don't count out Stephen Page and Chad Ross still working together. They're trying to close that 1 second deficit. They find themselves into Jeremy Paris running second. We're waiting to see if Page and Ross can close the gap. They are gaining ever so slowly on the top 2. And Eric Parks, he's got company as Jeremy Paris is closing the distance as well. I think this is going to really come down to a very intense strategy game here this evening. As we go back to Parks, your race leader, he's got a little bit of traffic to contend with. Trying to use the draft of the driver in front of him. That may be Ryan Strunk. No, not quite sure who that is. Well, that's Ken Paco Jr. in the 03 machine. But this has cost Parks some time as now Jeremy Paris is a half second off the back bumper of that 73. And closing mighty fast, trying to catch that draft of the 2 drivers in front of him. Parks tucked in behind McCullough. He was still, I believe, 2 laps down after McCullough's pit stop on lap 48. Very uncharacteristic for him. And just a little bit to the right, there's Jeremy Paris, the number 24 machine. Paris not closing the gap too incredibly quickly. He's a 4/10. You can see the 73 machine on the left side of your screen. Here comes Jeremy Paris picking up the draft of your race leader, Eric Parks. Ahead of him, that's McCullough having his own battle going on. And if Paris can pick up the draft of the 73, he's going to close that remaining quarter of a second mighty quickly here at the wide open racetrack at Michigan. Now, is Paris going to try and make a move on Parks, or is he going to tuck in and use that draft advantage as long as he can? Maybe saving a little bit more fuel here to hit his marks. They've pulled a 2-second advantage over Stephen Page and Chad Ross. Linked up third to fourth, and it does not look like Paris is going to wait. He wants the race lead, and he dives to the inside line. He will get the credit for the lap led. And now Paris and Parks linked up 1 and 2, a 10th separating the two drivers. Will they pull time here on Stephen Page and Chad Ross? Looks like they're losing a little bit of time, as Page and Ross have closed it to 1.6 seconds to the race leaders. Another good battle out on track. That's Dalton McKinney, Jeffrey Radke battling for the 8th place spot. McKinney on the inside line, Radke up high. Radke pulling just the tiniest advantage coming out in the back stretch. Maybe able to stretch it to a 10th, as McKinney, who is pinned down low, just couldn't do anything with it. And then Chad Ross, Stephen Page still working together. 1 and just about 7/10 back from your top two. What a good shot. That's what a 1.8 second difference looks like, as Paris and Parks are linked up front. Page and Ross trying to make anything happen here. Now, Jeremy Paris had the latest stop on lap 53. Everybody else inside the top 5 came around lap 48 to 49. So again, Paris will be able to go a few laps longer than the rest of the field. And it seems like so far that strategy's playing out well for him. That could very well change later on in the evening, but as of now, it seems like a good strategy play by the driver, the number 24 Chevrolet, Jeremy Paris. And again, Chevy out front, Ford currently in second with Eric Parks. And our fastest Toyota can be found in 8th place with Jeffrey Radke in the number 51 machine. That Toyota Tundra up 1 spot from where he started. And he's got Dalton McKinney wanting that spot back. McKinney down 5 spots from where he started. And still charging forward with that momentum. And we're going to get a nice wide-angle shot of your race leaders, Jeremy Paris, Eric Parks running first and second, as they have pulled about a 2.5 second gap, and Paris somehow pulling away slightly from Eric Parks here. That stretched it to about 4/10, almost about a half a second. Trying to see if we can catch 3rd and 4th place Page and Ross in this wide angle. There they go as we get ready to cross the start-finish line. You can see that second distinct pack in the background. Another interesting thing going on, Radke, Babb, and McKinney. They finally start working together as they run 8th, 9th, and 10th. Now, interesting points of topics. Eric Parks has the most to gain here with a good result. He came into this final round before the championship on the bubble in 8th place. He does not want to pressure too hard and end up throwing away such a good possible point spot. And Jeffrey Radke, Wally Babb still going at it. Dalton McKinney's backed off the pace ever so slightly. So I think that may be the move here from Eric Parks, just playing it safe, secure his spot into the final round, the championship round next week at Kansas. And just kind of see how things go for him here. Stephen Page, he was 13th as he currently sits in 3rd. He's in a good spot to try and work his way into that final round as well. And Chad Ross in 4th. He desperately needs some points as well to make his way into the top 8. As I tell you what, while we're under green flag conditions, we're going to run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. In on your race leader, Jeremy Paris, holding a 1.2 second advantage over Eric Parks. But again, thank you to everybody tuning in, supporting the stream, your favorite driver, as well as the league sponsor, FEGPC.net. If you're looking for a new custom-built sim rig desktop, give them a call. Tell them James sent you. Be it for iRacing, you want to get into the sport, any heavy, intense other sim, Microsoft Flight Sim, DCS Flight Simulator. Or if you want to get into iRacing, broadcasting, and production yourself, again, check them out, FEGPC.net. Tell them what you need it for, and they will get you a custom-built solution at an affordable price. We are past the halfway mark of this main event. Harris looking good. His last pit stop was on lap 53. And the field very, very stretched out. Now Larry McDonald back down pit road in the number 80 Toyota. We've had 3 drivers who had to retire early on. Derrick Fulton, Corey Stahl, and then Zach Talley, who did not start here. As we check in on Wally Babb as well, the number 99 machine running 8th behind. That's going to be William Price in the 34. Radke has fallen off ever so slightly. Very interested to see how this is going to shape out. Now with the top drivers fairly spread out, I'm a little optimistic we can run green for a while here as we see Babb switch up to the high line, trying to carry a little bit more speed, but we've got some green flag stops going on as Eric Parks, Stephen Page down pit road. Bryce looks like he's getting set up for a pit entry as well. Yes, he is. Babb stays out, as well as your top 4, Paris, Ross, Mullihan, and Kaufman. Wally Babb will move up into 5th on pit strategy. And don't forget, Jeremy Paris, Jeff Radke, 2 of the very few drivers who were off cycle stretched out to lap 53. Chad Ross comes down pit road from his 2nd place position. The top 3 stay out. I think Wally Babb will as well, as he runs 5th. But how long will Paris stretch it out? He's been out 20 laps so far in a tank of fuel. This will give us a good idea of just how far he can go under green flag conditions. And with the strategy, he's 9 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. John Mullihan is about to come down pit road in 2nd place as he falls back to now 10 seconds. So that's a good sign. Mullihan's coming down. Yes, he does. Triggering the pit lane sensors. Ryan Strunk also coming down pit road in the 77. James Kaufman, the 41 down pit road. There's the 73 machine of Eric Parks. Parks coming out of pit road after his lap 71 stop. Looks like Strunk had problems, takes a tow back to pit road. Paris going to tuck in behind Parks for possibly a little while here. Now is Paris going to try and tuck in behind Parks using the draft off that 73 machine to extend that run just a little bit longer? Or maybe he's enjoying the clean air a little bit more. It's going to be tough to say. But this is going to be a race of attrition and strategy. We've got about 60 laps left to go. Right now, Paris clicking off about 41.5s. Parks, who came out of pit road, clicked off a 40.2. So 1.3 seconds faster than your race leader. Mark McFadden coming down pit road for a lap 74 stop. Interested to see just how long Paris can stretch that run out for here. I mean, I think that's still going to put him with one stop left to go in this main event. Wally Babb, the 99, coming down pit road, triggering the entry lights. You can see Chad Ross, the 38 machine. He's a lap down. I think, yes, he's got Stephen Page tucked in right behind him in the number 1 machine. Paris getting mighty low here. Is he coming down pit road? It looks like he is. So it looks like a 23-lap run from Jeremy Paris. Not terribly good at math up here in the booth, but that's going to put his next pit stop right at lap 99. I think Paris is on a good strategy here tonight, as well as Jeffrey Radke. I think, and it's going to be very close. No, I'm way off on the math here. So if they come down pit road around lap 95 to 100, that's going to show them about 10 to 15 laps short on fuel to make it till the end. Jeremy Paris rolls back out on track. Eric Parks, though, takes back over the race lead in the 73 machine. And I think Parks is going to have a little bit better advantage coming out of pit road about 1.5 seconds ahead of Jeremy Paris. Oh, let's make it about 2 seconds here. But look at this. For the first time in a long time, Paris, Ross, and Page are going to be linked up. Ross and Page came in about 4 to 5 laps prior. Ross muscles his way up into the second place spot side by side. There's Ken Paco Jr., the 03 machine. He's a couple of laps down. Trying to hold his line as we're going to go 3 wide, hinting at it into turn 1. McCullough backs off out of the throttle to allow Ross and Paris to continue their battle for second. Page enjoying the show from right behind. As we ride on board with Stephen Page, the number 1 Chevrolet. That's Ross and Paris side by side again, the battle for second. This has got to be good news for Eric Parks. That's going to allow him to extend that gap ever so slightly here. Because we know Paris can run extremely well on the long run. This has been the first time in a long time we've had so many of the top drivers bunched up like this. Ross and Paris continue battling for that second place spot. Ross knows every single point matters if he wants to get into the top 8. He was that driver just outside the bubble. But we may be interrupting the party as, yes, we have a caution coming out. Looks like that's Larry McDonald, I think. What happened to Larry? Let's see what happened to the number 80 Toyota Tundra. A puff of smoke? Did he blow up? Still running. Let's see what happened to him there. it a money shift, I wonder? Oh, looking at that tachometer, something happened. McDonald, I'm interested to see what exactly caused that. But that's going to put a lot of strategy out of the game. The top 5 opting to stay out. 6 to about 11th place comes down pit road. But again, I think even those drivers are going to be short on fuel. If they stay true to form, that's going to put these next drivers about 4 to 5 laps short on fuel, I believe. For those that are coming down pit road right now under caution. And again, that is our second caution of the evening. So the top 6, I believe. No, top 5 all came in down pit road last around laps 71 to 73, about 8 laps prior. They're looking at their fuel numbers saying it's not worth coming down pit road, giving up this all sweet track position. And again, we think a fuel run is about 23 laps if I'm doing broadcast napkin math correctly up here. Your results may and probably will vary. So we get him graded back up, double file behind our iRacing safety car. It's going to be about 52 laps left to go. Once we hit that green flag once more. Pace car will be in this time by. It's Ross and Parks on the front row. Mullihan, Page, your second row. Kaufman and Paris, your third row. Now Paris did come down pit road on lap 80 to fuel up. And away we go. Green flag racing once more here in Michigan. Parks gonna try and hold on to that race lead as long as he can. Let the guys sort it out behind him. He's got Stephen Page behind him on the inside line. Chad Ross leads the outside line with John Mullihan. It looks like we're gonna form it back up single file down the backstretch here in Michigan. Drivers playing a very high-speed game of snake, trying to hop into line. Your top 3, Parks, Page, Ross, all single file. There's Mullihan trying to make something happen against Jeremy Paris. We know Paris has a whole lot of speed. He qualified on pole. But Mullihan is up 9 spots and showing he wants it bad here tonight. Mullihan also outside the top 8. Jeffrey Radke, Jeremy Paris, I feel pretty safe to assume, are pretty much locked in here, I would think. Eric Parks, the driver who is on the bubble. Your current race leader has Page right behind him. And already the top 5 getting a pretty good breakaway here. You can see James Kaufman trying to close the gap, as well as William Price, Dalton McKinney. McKinney has stretched his advantage over Wally Babb's 99 machine by about a half second. As up front, they are nose to tail, the top 4. Parks, Page, Ross, Paris. You know, Paris can go quite a bit longer here on fuel. He's got about 8 to 9 laps more fuel than the drivers in front of him. It's just going to be very interesting with these fragmented pit stops. Who's got what it takes to run the longest? Now, it looks like the 34 machine of William Price setting the fastest lap of the night, a 39.67. He's got something to say about it, as he is charging towards the front here. All the way up into 3rd, trying to sneak under Stephen Page, the number 1 machine. I think Price is going to do it here. Takes over 2nd, now he's challenging for the lead, trying to make that track as small as possible. Doing it with no draft support, but now the outside line gains momentum once more. Parks, Page, and I think Ross are going to try and motor by on the high line. Parks holding on to the race lead. Jeremy Paris has gotten shuffled back to 5th. But you've got Mullihan and Kaufman still in the fray as well. Side by side for the race lead. Here we go again. So William Price having the run of his life here, taking over the race lead from Parks, Page, Ross, Paris, moving all the way up towards the front in that Hellman's back Chevrolet. Now he's another one of those drivers that came in around lap 80, so he's got 7 to 9 laps more fuel than those behind him, except for Jeremy Paris in 5th, who also came down pit road on lap 80. As Price has built up a 1/4 of a second advantage. Let's go about to the mid-pack fray here. Mid-pack in the top 5, I should say, as the rest of the field pretty stretched out. So let's look a little bit further back. The battle for 11th. You've got James Duke in the 76, Mark McFadden, and running 12th, the number 5 machine. A little bit of lap traffic interjecting themselves in the party. You've also got Kent Paco Jr. He's linked up with Eddie Hawks a couple laps down. McFadden taking a peek to the inside line, trying to work his way around that 76 machine of Duke. As things are getting more frantic up front, starting to see and hear reports of a little bit of bump drafting inside this pretty wild pack, the top 7. Now your race leader, William Price, stretching his legs. He's about 6/10 ahead of the rest of the field here, almost 7/10. As Eric Parks in 2nd has built up a 1/4 of a second advantage over Stephen Page. Page has Ross, Harris, Mullihan, Kaufman breathing down his neck. Everybody single file locking up bumper to bumper here in Michigan. And this is going to be squirrely. Checking back in. There's William Price. That's how big of a gap he has built up as the rest of the field makes their way out of turn 4. That's what 8/10 looks like. And Price knows he doesn't have to do any fuel saving here, at least on this run. He's got the fuel to make it happen and continue to hold it wide open, and he's doing that with no draft support up front. Everybody else stacked up behind him, and he's gaining more time. He's gained about a second on the rest of the field. Pulling away from Eric Parks in second, that 73 machine. Again, Parks knows he doesn't necessarily need to win it, but he desperately needs a fistful of points to make it to the top 8. Now they're getting a little bit racy right behind him. Page leads the pack, but here comes Jeremy Paris at the inside line, the number 24 machine. Paris joining Price in the list of drivers who last came in on lap 80. But how is this going to pan out for the fuel run as it's about to go bad? Netcode between Page and Paris. Chad Ross gets a piece of it as well, falling down the stands in the 38 machine. No caution, but there's going to be some damaged trucks and a little bit of hurt feelings on that one. Now, I don't think that's how Jeremy Paris wanted that one to go. Sometimes this sim registers a contact between trucks that didn't necessarily transpire. And I think that's what we just saw here tonight. That's going to put Mullihan about three-quarters of a second behind Paris. Paris is linked up with Eric Parks in second. They're about 1 second back from race leader William Price, who is trying his absolute best to check out here. Dalton McKinney comes down pit road, as well as Wally Babb, Jeffrey Radke. I still put them very short on fuel if they're trying to make it till the end. Again, the longest run we've seen under green flags is about 23 laps. That would make their next pit cycle 118 or so. And that would give them 6 laps extra to make it till the end. Now here we go, the battle for second. Eric Parks, Jeremy Paris. Parks maybe getting set up for a green flag stop here. I show him as needing to come down pit road the next 1 or 2 laps after he's able to fuel save a little bit under caution. Bryce continues his dominant run out front as Parks and Paris linked up. I think Paris may be waiting here, knowing the 73 machine's gonna have to come down pit road, keeping the pressure on him. And yes, look at that, Parks hops over to the inside line. And I think he's going to be coming down pit road this time by. Yes, Parks comes down pit road. Paris will stay out. Mullihan, Kaufman, Page also down pit road. That's going to leave Price, Paris, and Ross out on the lead lap. But I think Ross needs to come down very soon as well. His last pit stop was lap 72. Mark McFadden in fourth. He and James Duke in fifth also came down pit road for lap 80. So they're good to go for at least a little while longer here. I would say their next pit stop's going to be around the lap 105 mark. But that's still going to put them very short on fuel to make it till the end. About 7 to 8 laps short if we're doing it right here. How is this going to pan out as Chad Ross comes down pit road? Will tonight be decided on strategy, or we're going to have a late race caution ruining all the hard work of the mathematicians we've had sitting on the crew walls tonight? Paris about 1.1 seconds back from your race here. We pull up live time on the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is as we work through these green flag stops. And again, the list of drivers who have been forced to retire has rapidly grown. Larry McDonald, Ryan Strunk have been on pit road from 15 to 20 minutes. They are effectively out. Derrick Fulton, Corey Stahl have retired back to the virtual hauler early on. And then again, Zach Talley with a did not start. Checking back in on William Price, your race leader. He knows Jeremy Paris closing the gap 1 second behind him, and that 34 machine are run the wrong transponder. Shows 34 on live time and scoring. For some reason, it shows 88 on the side of that helmet's back Chevrolet. Chevrolet running first and second. McFadden, our fastest forward, running third in the number 5 machine. Oh, Jeremy Paris going to come down pit road on lap 100. Checking in on McFadden, the number 5 machine. He's going to stay out, work his way up into second, about 10 seconds back from race leader William Price. What is Paris thinking here, getting off of his normal strategy? And are we going to see James Duke in third close that 9/10 of a second gap that McFadden currently holds in second? McFadden 15th in points coming into this segment finale before the championship. I don't think he'll be a contender next week at Kansas. I don't think he's going to make it in the top 8, but hey, we've seen crazier things happen. If he can pull out a win and some heavy hitters go home early, he may still have a shot of it as he's up 9 positions so far. Right now, Duke slowly closing the gap to that number 5 machine of McFadden, who runs second. They're about 11 seconds back from race leader William Price. Interesting to see the strategy call out of Paris. Paris still out on track in 4th after that lap 99 stop, taking, I think, just fuel on that one. He's in and out of his pit stall in 9.6 seconds. The top 3 drivers, last time they were in was on lap 80. They should be getting mighty close on fuel, having to come down, I believe, in the next couple laps. I haven't seen too much fuel saving out of these drivers. Instead, ripping it wide open around the wide open racetrack of Michigan, the 2 mile, just about super speedway. Not quite Talladega or Daytona size, but still pretty darn fast. We've seen some good 3 wide racing here tonight. Sally Hammond letting us know that McFadden, the number 5 machine, her favorite driver, out on track. McFadden curling up 9 spots, running second and fending off James Duke pretty well, maintaining that 3/4 of a second to about a second gap between the second and third place drivers. But surely everybody inside the top 3 after that lap 80 pit stop's got to be getting close on fuel here. As I say that, William Price, your race leader, comes down pit road on lap 104. McFadden and Duke look like they're going to stretch it out as McFadden takes over the race lead for the first time tonight. Price hits his pit stall. Duke closing the gap to your now race leader. But I think both these guys have got to be very close on fuel. McFadden still holding wide open. Will we see that number 5 machine come down pit road this time by? Yes, we will. Duke looks like he's going to follow suit. And I think that's going to be Jay Dargard also coming down pit road. So who's that going to put as your race leader? I think Dalton McKinney in the number 94 machine, I believe, will show as your race leader, but he's got company with Jeremy Paris, Eric Parks. Now, Paris got off strategy in that 99 machine, or excuse me, with the lap 99 pit stop. They passed both McFadden and Duke, who are in their pit stalls. Paris will once again have 3 to 5 laps more fuel than the drivers in front of him. Now we think McKinney is going to have to come down pit road in about 10 to 11 laps. Paris should be able to stretch it out to lap 122, 123, but he's still going to be short on fuel, so what's the call going to be here? Is it going to be maybe trying to align yourself with teammates and friends to bring home the win? Paris wants that back-to-back. McKinney, who I believe was the Segment 4 champion, is not in contention for Segment 3. He's 28th in points. McFadden rolls out of pit road as well as James Duke. Both drivers, I think both drivers had a, no, I think McFadden had a penalty there. He's in his pit stall for 51.95 seconds. A regular stop is anywhere between 7 to 15 if you take 4 tires. So McFadden had problems, maybe a violation on pit road entry. And he's going to be a lap down, currently showing 12th. Now your top 3, McKinney, Paris, and Parks, have pulled a 3-second gap over James Kaufman, who sits in 4th. Kaufman has Mullahan, Price, Radke, and Babb in tow with him. Expecting more pit stops the next 5 to 8 laps for these drivers. That should be their final planned stop of the evening, barring any wild cautions. A little bit further back, we've got a heated battle for 4th. William Price, James Kaufman, John Mullahan. Throwing quick little jabs at each other to see who can take over the prime positioning. Looks like it's going to be Price coming out on top here in that 34 machine. As Paris giving a friendly bump to Dalton McKinney, your race leader, saying let's keep the pace up. As we've got 26 laps left to go here in Michigan. These are the 3 closest drivers you have out on track. Kaufman and Mullahan are linked up for 5th. But Paris gonna try and control the pace from 2nd place, knowing he's got a little bit more fuel underneath them. Now, if these drivers come down pit road the next 2 to 3 laps, they should, in theory, be good to go until the end. And we've got a caution coming out? Oh no. Jay Dargard showing involved in that one. Couldn't quite see who the other driver was. Take a look at that one, see what we can figure out here. So it looks like, I think that's the 76 of Duke, giving a little bit of a shove to Dargard. Didn't quite give it square. And both drivers pirouetting around. A big incident. Looks like that's going to be going into turns 3 and 4. I think what's going to bring out the caution here is Dargard's going to go back out on track. Yeah, back into the racing line. as well as Duke, very slow out on track. Let's see what happened once more, maybe from James Duke's point of view. Watching the 76 machine. Yeah, just clobbers into Dargert. Poor Dargert. Can't catch a break here. Duke almost has a blowover in that 76. A shame he was up about 7-8 spots from where he started. But I think we're going to see everybody come down pit road here. That's going to be our third caution of the night, as it looks like just about everybody coming down pit road. And I think they should be good to go to the end here. Now, who's going to take tires and gamble, or who's just going to splash these things off and let her rip? Everybody's going to fill it to the brim. Looks like William Price in the 34 machine is going to roll out of pit road first. Dalton McKinney, I think, is going to be second. So this is going to be interesting. What could be a final shootout, but cautions breed cautions. And now you've got a few drivers such as Jeffrey Radke, Wally Babb, Stephen Page, Chad Ross, who I think are going to take 4 tires and get a little bit of damage repaired so they can make it to the end in the fastest possible truck possible for them. That's going to put Price and McKinney on the front row. Paris and Parks your second row. Mullahan and Kaufman your third row. And I think, as it looks like Mark McFadden's made his way back on the lead lap at number 5, that's going to put, I believe, 11 drivers on the lead lap. And I'd say 11 drivers still have a chance to win this thing, because we're going to bunch them back up. It's going to be about 21 laps left to go on the restart. We're fairly confident everybody can make it till the end, and you're about to see some elbows out, ladies and gentlemen, as there's quite a few drivers on the bubble to make it into the final 8, and those that desperately want to make it into the championship next week. Here we go, what could be the final restart of the night, but somehow I'm doubting it as we look to hint at 3, possibly 4 wide early on. Dalton McKinney squeezed in the middle. I think that's Paris on the high line in the 24, trying to gain some spots rather quickly. Your race leader, William Price, holding on to it. McKinney and Parks side by side in second. Paris trying to push his way up towards the front. You've also got the 41 of Kaufman on the high line. Now, generally on super speedways, you don't want to be the lead driver on the final lap. But William Price trying to get away from what's behind him. Looks like Parks and Paris, a little bit of bumping and grinding going on there. Paris looking for an opening in that number 24 machine. We've got 11 drivers on the lead lap. The top 10 very tightly bunched together here. Oh, things are going bad. That's James Kaufman. The caution's going to come out. Stephen Page, Chad Ross tied up in that one. I think I predicted that one. Let's take a quick look at that replay. Let's back that one up a little bit. Kaufman looked a little bit loose before that. Oh, did it start with Jeremy Paris? So keep an eye out on the number 24 machine. The top left of your screen, the red, white, and blue. Does he get a bit of a bump, I wonder? From the 41 of Kaufman, does that upset the truck of Kaufman? Waiting to see if there's any sort of impact here because Kaufman seemed out of shape. No, it's the number 24 machine. He was very loose there, trying to drop down the inside line. Not able to hold on to it. And then it looks like Kaufman gets loose all on his own up on the high line, trying to put the power down. He tries to hold on to it, doesn't collect himself, drills the 51 machine of Radke. Radke drills the outside wall. Kaufman follows suit, pinballs back. Meanwhile, Page plows into Paris. Chad Ross gets absolutely obliterated on the inside line. Look at Mullihan. Oh, I thought he was going to sneak through. No, he slams into Page. The number 5 machine of McFadden happily cruising right on through here. McFadden may have a little bit of luck here. So another caution with 18 laps left to go, our 14th of the night. That's going to put your top 5 as Price, McKinney, Parks, Babb, and McFadden. Kaufman's going to stay in the top 6 as a whole lot of drivers come down pit road to try and hammer those machines straight to make it till the end. It is not looking good for Jeremy Paris to make it back-to-back here this evening. Now, William Price was tied for 6th. Doing about 7th, so he's one of those drivers that was kind of on the bubble to make it into the playoffs. Dalton McKinney, your race leader, we're fairly confident he's not going to make it. Eric Park showing in 3rd. He's got to be happy. He was on the bubble in 8th. Again, we're only taking the top 8 after this round. Jeffrey Radke can't be happy. He was the points leader coming into this. And he's going to do everything he can to try and fix that 51 machine, salvage a night. I think he'll be okay on points, but it's going to be closer than he wants. We're going to grid them up, double file. Price, McKinney, the front row. Parks and Babb, your second row. McFadden and Ross, your third row. And still, anybody inside the top 11, I think has a really good chance of trying to bring home a win here. Now, Stephen Page in pit road for a very long time. That's going to put 11 drivers on the lead lap. Race car should be in this time by. And then once again, elbows are going to be out with 16 laps left to go. Got somebody down on the apron. Not sure if they're driving wounded or what the issue may be. But we are green flag racing once more. Price with a massive launch. Parks trying to take over that second place spot. Secure it from McKinney. McKinney has company from Wally Babb, Chad Ross, Mark McFadden. All in the fray here. Oh, this is going to be tight. McFadden seems like he's backed out of it slightly. The number 5 machine, the green and black. As McKinney and Parks go side by side for second. Now McKinney looks like he has a relatively clean truck here. That could be important in this final, what could be the final run with 16 to go. It's going to be 15. As Price leads them around 3 and 4. We're going to go 3 wide once more. It's McKinney, Babb, and Parks. Babb making it happen on the inside line. The number 99 machine. McKinney in the middle. Parks up high. Parks almost getting squeezed against the wall there. Looks like Babb's going to take over the second place position. He's got about 2/10 disadvantage to William Price. Is he showing his cards a little bit too early, or is he just trying to get out of the danger zone here? McKinney's not going to let him go, trying to work that side draft against the 99 down the back stretch. Babb has closed the gap to William Price, your race leader. We're side by side. Looks like Babb has about a half truck length over McKinney in the battle for second. He's going to stay glued in behind Price's 34 machine as they're bobbing and weaving. Babb hops out of formation to take a look to the inside line. The number 99 machine smells blood in the water, and he's going for it here. 14 laps left to go. The top 8 in the points make it to the season finale, the championship, next week. Kenneth Paco Jr. sits in 4th. There's Chad Ross, Eric Parks, Jeremy Paris, Mark McFadden, James Kaufman, all in this tidy pack. The top 9, McFadden's going to be the top 8 driver, the last driver in this lead pack. As I think we've got a little bit of lap traffic ahead. That's going to be Eddie Hawks in the 45 machine. He's not going to interject himself too much into this party, I don't think. McFadden tucks in behind the 45 as a lap down to see if it's going to work well for him. Jeremy Parrish is kind of watching and waiting. We think he's driving pretty heavily wounded. He doesn't want to lose that lead draft as the top 3, almost the top 4, as McCullough's about 3/10 behind. These top 3 are falling back, and William Price going to shoot his shot once more along the inside line. Dalton McKinney doesn't seem to be in a big rush. He knows he's not going to make it to the playoffs, but still wants to pick up a win here. Kenneth Paco Jr. came into tonight 3rd in points. He's another driver. Doesn't necessarily need to win, but needs to finish strong to secure that spot. Meanwhile, Wally Babb was 10th in points. He's absolutely going to lick the stamp and send it here, knowing he is almost in a must-win position if he wants to guarantee that spot. Oh, this is going to be a shootout. McKinney and Price side by side for second. McCullough looking for an opening, but no major rush. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Price and McKinney. 11 laps left to go. I don't know. Are we going to make it till the end without another caution? McCullough looks to the inside line of McKinney. The top 4 have broken away from Eric Parks in 5th. Parks still has Ross, Paris, and McFadden right behind him. Parks was on the bubble coming into this evening, but still may be okay here as we are 10 laps left to go. Wally Babb currently your race leader, that number 99 machine. He's getting a whole lot of love from the fans early on. Looks like it's Mullahan going another lap down there in the number 6 machine. limping it along as he runs 11th. The top two of Babb and McCullough, a very little bit of a breakaway. As it looks like William Price, has fallen back by about a second. There's McKinney behind him, 9 laps left to go. And if you pan back to Eric Parks, there's the party, folks. That's Paris, Ross, and McFadden about 4/10 back. Driving the wheels off these things. Side by side they go, the battle for 6th. That's Paris and Ross. Paris saw that back-to-back win slip out of his fingers with that final caution, but he's going to try and maximize his points as well here tonight. Ooh, this is going to be close. The last thing that Wally Babb, your race leader, wants is a late race caution to negate that big lead he has built up. Now Paris was second into points, so he should be good here within the top 6 or 7 to lock in that playoff position, that final championship spot. Right now, I don't think these guys are going to give each other much of a break as Mark McFadden joining the fray as well for this battle for the final top 5 spot. Parks holding on to it in the 73 machine with Ross, Paris, and McFadden linked up right behind. I think every one of these drivers has sustained a fair amount of damage as they have fallen about 5 seconds back from Dalton McKinney in 4th. 6 laps left to go. Babb and McCullough still your race leaders. Now McCullough and Babb, running 1st and 2nd, are not teammates. So there's no team orders in play there. I think by the end of this, it's going to be every man for himself. As I say that, McCullough challenging the 99 machine for the lead. McCullough racing for DFR Blue. Babb racing for the Distance Motorsports. Now, both drivers, very respectful drivers. I think highly of both of those guys. So I think push come to shove, no pun intended. I don't think they're going to use the chrome horn or the bumpers too much here at the end. I think it's going to come all down to tactics in the closing laps. They've built up a 2-second gap as they run side by side. William Price is closing that gap, although relatively slowly. It's 4 laps left to go. McCullough shows you your race leader by 0.03 of a second as he crosses the line. Babb answers, closing it down to 100th of a second. Almost neck and neck into turn 1. McCullough pulls about a truck length. Babb's going to tuck in right behind him once more to build up that draft. Babb looks to the inside line, gets a little bit squirrely there. And now it's going to be Babb's turn to fire back on the inside line. Side by side into turn 3 and 4. Both drivers leaning on each other a little bit. Looks like McCullough has about a fender, but here comes Babb on the inside line. McCullough shows us your race leader by about 0.05 of a second as they cross the stripe. Both drivers measuring each other up here. And both drivers playing a bit of a game of who's got the most damage. McCullough stretches his gap back to about 0.3. That may be Babb trying to build up a big run here. Just holding on to the tail end of the draft. They're still about a second ahead of William Price in 3rd. And going back to 5th, again, it's Parks, Ross, Paris, and McFadden, a bit of a freight train with 3 laps left to go. We'll keep our eyes on this battle as it's 2 laps left to go as McCullough crosses the line. We'll keep you informed to see if Babb makes another run of it towards the front. McFadden drops all the way down the apron as the 5th, 6th, and 7th place drivers stay in formation on the high line. There's traffic coming out of pit road. I think that may have been Mullahan who popped down onto the apron. White flag is out. McCullough holds on to it by about 0.3 of a second. If Babb has anything left in the tank, the time is now. We can't look away there from this battle for 5th. Parks, Ross, Paris, McFadden. This could very well decide who makes it the final round of playoffs. Half a lap left to go for Kenneth McCullough Jr., your race leader. McCullough comes around 3 and 4 for the final time. Something has happened to Wally Babb. He's backed off the pace heavily. Checkered flag is out. McCullough picks up the win. Babb 2nd, Price 3rd. And let's see how this shakes out. It's going to be Parks, Ross, Paris, McFadden, and that absolutely wild battle for 5th. Well done to Kenneth McCullough Jr., though, locking his way into the, I think, yes, he's going to lock his way into the playoffs, the final championship round here. And, well, McCullough's got a bit of a problem. But he's going to burn it down and put on a show. And we're going to try to get these top 3 drivers up into the waiting room. We've already got William Price joining us. And McCullough putting on a smoke show for the fans here at Michigan. What a night, the doubleheader. I'm tired from up here in the booth. It's been about a 3.5-hour show. I'm sure our drivers are as well. And McCullough paid for all the tires, and he's going to use all the tires. We're going to get things started here with William Price joining us again here, the number 34/88 machine, the Hellman's Back Chevrolet. What a good night of consistency for you.
Yeah, man. It's been a good night. I thought I had a little bit more for them two at the end there, but I did not. So
now a very night of attrition. It's kind of a super speedway in Michigan, kind of not. But were you expecting more cautions or less from the drivers this evening?
I thought that I mean, the track is so big, man. Like, if we could just get spread out a little bit, we shouldn't have to caution a deal with the cautions. And but I mean, I know how it gets. So if everybody's running close, I mean, you might not want to give up that inch.
Now, coming from somebody, I haven't driven on Michigan a whole lot, and really any of the iRacing content. How's the tire wear play a factor compared to someplace such as Talladega or Daytona?
I mean, I think it's a little worse than a Talladega or Daytona, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I double stinted the first 2 stints on tires, so it wasn't that bad.
Awesome, William. Glad to see you with such good consistency. Well, I'm not sure on the points breakdown yet, but I think you should have locked yourself in the top 8, so well done on that one, and looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the coming weeks. As I believe, no, the points have, oh, they have been updated. Hold one. Survey says, yes, you should be locked in, so congratulations. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week, and I know it's been a long night, so who do you want to give a shout-out to before we all go pass out for the evening?
I'm gonna shout out my wife one more time, and my buddy Ryan that was spotting for me there.
Awesome. Congratulations, William, and good luck in the final championship round next week.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man.
That was William Price. Join us with a third-place result. Up next, Wally Babb, somebody I don't get to talk to enough in the 99 machine. Welcome to the top spot.
That's right.
Or second to top spot, but it's still a great run. Believe you've locked your way into the championship, and a relatively clean truck, and we saw so many drivers going home in dismay here tonight.
Yes, sir. It was absolutely 0x clean.
Oh, you couldn't ask for more. And correct me if I'm wrong, does that mean bonus points or just a lack of penalty points?
That might be some bonus points and maybe some money.
Even better. You can no complaints there, my friend. And did you expect to be here up at the second place spot by the time it's all said and done? Because we saw a little bit more aggressiveness than we're used to out of you.
Well, I've got my new rig now, and it's been going nice and smooth here lately. But so like the strategy the whole time, we didn't take tires the first pit stop. We ended up having 2 full sets on the last 2 pit stops, me and Radke. And we were both coming up through on that last get, and then, somebody got into him and got him sideways. So we're all thinking, oh, I'm the only one with fresh tires. And then Kenneth snuck one in on us.
Yeah, Kenneth, the wily super speedway veteran, he either does extremely well or has a rough night, but...
Oh, yeah, that was a good run with him. That was pretty clean, too.
So, Wally, what's the plans going into Kansas next week? Is that a track you're pretty pumped about going to, or what's the plan to try and bring home the grand prize this segment?
Oh, yeah, a lot of strategy with the teammates. I like Kansas, so I think we're going to go in pretty good.
Well, hey,
let's go for that win.
Well, a lot of fun watching. Yeah, I think that's going to be a winner-take-all scenario with so many of you guys, so many talented guys going to be joining you in the top 8. Looking forward to it. And I know it's been a long night out here in Georgia, but Wally, before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout-out to that helps make this happen for you?
I want to shout out to my team, The Distance, all my teammates, Dalton, Jeffrey, Corey, Rylan, Jordan, and even Chris, and Sean, and my wife for letting me do this and not killing me.
Yeah, no doubt, especially on a school night.
Right, and I want to thank Jeff for putting this series on, and y'all for doing an excellent broadcast.
Well, thank you as always, my friend.
Couldn't ask for no better.
I couldn't do it without you guys putting on a show out on track or the fans at home. So thank you, Wally, and best of luck in that championship round next week.
I hope to be talking to you again next week.
Me as well, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
That was Wally Babb. Join us in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Kenneth McCullough Jr. A dominating win, locking your way into the championship round. Second win to the segment. What more could you ask for?
I don't know about a dominant win. That was a hell of a battle there. That was that was something else. Wally gave me a hell of a run there. I got to thank him for keeping it clean for sure.
Now, we talked about that in the broadcast, and maybe because I'm partial to the Georgia racers we have out on track, but we were saying we didn't expect too much bumping and grinding between you two guys here at the end. So much respect, especially along a lot of the longtime veterans here at FEG PC. Was that anything you were worried about, knowing how much was at stake for this round?
No, I wasn't. I felt like I was in kind of comfortable there. Man, I came back from 2 laps. That was hard to do. But, oh, man, what a race. He had me I was trying everything I could possibly do there. Once I seen him pushing a little bit, I was like, oh, I got a shot.
And speaking of that, 2 laps down, we've seen some pretty wild strategies out of you over the last 2 years I've been broadcasting here at FEG PC. Some work really well, some unfortunately don't. But what was the strategy coming into tonight, and were you able to pull it off with the cautions we saw?
Yeah, these last 2 races, I've just had to change it up a little bit. Just start at the front and try to stay at the front and have a shot at the win. I usually start in the back, and sometimes it goes all right. Sometimes I get wrecked back there, and I'd rather just give it all I got and see what happens.
Well, it seemed like it worked out very well for you, my friend. A great finish, a relatively clean race truck. Not the same could be said for so many drivers here tonight. And what's the plans going into Kansas? We know you're a very multifaceted driver, able to pull off some pretty good things just about wherever you go. So what's the plan to try and bring it home in that final round of the segment?
Just qualify, stay up front, and try to be there at the end. That's all you can do in these things, for sure.
Well said as always, my friend. Kenneth, thank you so much. A great run out of you in that 03 machine. And you're no stranger to this part, but you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night as well as the regular season. Who do you want to give a shout to that made it happen for you?
I got to thank Wally there for keeping it clean. That was a hell of a battle. Not everybody does that all the time. I'd like to thank my aunt, Melinda. She's tuning in and she don't miss none of these things. She watches every one. Got to thank you for doing a hell of a broadcast. And thanks, Jeff, for putting these things on. He does a hell of a job.
Well, awesome. Kenneth, thank you for putting on a good show. We wish you the best of luck in that final championship round. And again, congratulations on a very well-earned win tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Maybe I'll see you here next race.
We're hoping so, my friend.
That's right, buddy. Take it easy.
You as well, sir. That was Kenneth McCullough Jr. finishing in the top spot. A long night here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series, where we do have the top 8 drivers that are going to make it into the championship round. Your top 8 will be Jeffrey Radke, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Jeremy Paris, Wally Babb, Eric Parks, William Price, Corey Stahl making it into the playoffs, as well as John Mullihan. Those are your top 8 drivers who will be competing for the grand prize next week here at Kansas. Tonight, in the final doubleheader, it's Kenneth McCullough Jr., Wally Babb, and William Price, your top 3. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, as well as FEGPC.net, thank you for all the fans that stuck in. Here's a long show. Everybody that tuned in on Twitch, YouTube, and again, this show will be available for immediate viewing following the broadcast on the Team Goon Squad Roku channel. Pull it up on your TV, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show. Thank you all so much for spending a Monday night with us, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.